everybody, and welcome to Roundtable Live for June 9th, 2017. My name is BaerTaffy, joined by RockLeeSmile, MathasGames, and Northernlion. Happy 6/9, everybody. National holiday.
Hooray.
You don't have to do it, but if you do, it's the day to celebrate it.
I was going to ask you guys what you plan on doing to celebrate, but I know what you're going to plan on doing to celebrate.
It's Friday night?
Yeah.
That's
We're playing Friday the 13th is what we're fucking doing.
We are.
We are doing that, too. Yeah, Friday the 13th tonight, which is... you know, I was wondering if they were going to wait till a Friday the 13th to release the actual game, but I guess that was maybe a little too limited of a time frame.
Let's see when the next one of those is.
That would have been in October.
If it was
maybe.
close, that would have been incredible.
There was an October Friday the 13th.
Man.
They were probably running low on money.
Is the game like, it's fully functional now, right? This is the 1.0.
Yeah.
This is all...
No.
They should have thought it out like a studio does. Like, the next Captain America movie was probably finished like 8 months ago. But they're like, we need a spot. That's May 2019 when we're coming out with that. But October Friday the 13th for an asymmetrical multiplayer game called Friday the 13th where you play as everyone's favorite serial killer, Jason Voorhees?
Come on.
That's worth like an extra 600,000 sales, probably.
Let's just like bring it back and then re-release it. See if anyone notices.
I guarantee you we'll see some sort of DLC or major update on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's the plan.
We will see some big changes or big additions, hopefully for free.
Those bastards.
They won't be for free.
Well,
You never know, man. You never know.
at any rate, happy 6/9, everybody. Hope you're enjoying it responsibly. We've got a full docket for you, and we're going to unload it everywhere in honor of 6/9.
Stop.
I can't.
I mean, you can.
It's too much.
It's a
You
holiday.
said it like you said it like you didn't even want to say it.
I
the
know.
way you said it, like it just had to be.
This is the day of sexual comedy, and you just have to let it go. I could have phrased that sexually now that I think about it. I guess I missed
You
an
kind of
opportunity
already did.
Did I?
You
A
said
little
you had
bit?
to let it go.
Yeah, you gotta let it out. You gotta
Let it
release
go. Let it go.
BattleBorn goes free trial mode today, and we'll talk about what that means for the game, and maybe this may be the last time we talk about it, because I believe this completes the cycle.
I doubt it.
You doubt it? We'll see. CD Projekt Red dealing with a ransom being demanded for leaked files from Cyberpunk 2077. We'll talk about that. The End Is Nigh, new platformer from Edmund McMillan and Tyler Glale, right?
Yeah, that's how I'd say it.
Tyler Glale coming in July. We're pretty excited about that. Along with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds reaching 3 million owners on Steam. Totally absurd. We're going to be talking in depth about our E3 2017 predictions and hopes. And if you didn't know, according to this little overlay right here, we're going to be live restreaming on Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo's conferences. That's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of this coming week. So come on by to twitch.tv/Roundtable Podcast for that as well if you're interested in seeing us restream the E3 stuff. Then we'll be talking about a little game called Conarium along with another little game called Monolith at the end of the show, and that should wrap it up. Let's get back to BattleBorn. BattleBorn goes free to play.
This is the second to last time we're going to talk about it, because we'll bring it up one more time when the game dies and is brought off.
Oh.
Like a ball. Like a ball.
What bothers me is that it's not free to play. They still are laying out one last trump card for the game to be like, we can eventually make free to play.
Right.
It's a free trial, which makes it basically free to play, but they could still do like one more thing. So you get free access to all the competitive multiplayer modes and maps, no time limits or level caps, weekly rotation of 6 free heroes from the game's roster of 30, and any progress you make is permanent, so you can pick where you left off when they come back around in the rotation. And there's a queue only for new players, which is cool, but also frightens me because you're splitting a fan base that's already, or player base that's already pretty small, but I also understand why you wouldn't want people just to get steamrolled as soon as they come in.
Right.
But BattleBorn is just still fucked, right?
I mean, there's no coming back. This is just, like I said, it's the end of the cycle. They're in the final stage of grief, and that is acceptance, a.k.a. free-to-play.
This is coming from somebody who really liked BattleBorn a lot. I think it's a great game. Let it fucking die. They fucked it up. They fucked the launch. They went right up against Overwatch. Their marketing was terrible. and they destroyed what I think they really destroyed the launch of what could have been a great game. It's done.
I feel like the longer and the further out we've gotten from this game being released and talked about, the more Mathas and I have had to like over-exaggerate how good it was. Like,
really liked it.
It was pretty good, but I don't know if
You're
it was
making it a
amazing
martyr,
or
man.
anything.
I liked the game a lot. I think Gearbox mishandled the marketing and the launch drastically.
Yeah, they did.
How do you feel as a founder now? That is your official title, by the way, founder. How do you feel as a founder for your bonus content? Does that lure you back at all? Does that make you think, I could go try it again?
No, because the game needs a player base
to
be played.
Fair enough.
I hear the single player stuff was actually good, but I never played it. I just played the multiplayer stuff.
I only did it at preview events, but I kind of felt the opposite, where like the single player stuff for me was just sort of mindless, which isn't always a bad thing, but it was like, oh, here's a boss, everybody shoot it and then drop your ults, and then whenever they're off cooldown, drop them again. Like that's how the single player felt. So I felt like the multiplayer, at least like you're competing against something that has a brain, so it's dynamic in that way. But I don't know, it's just sort of boring at this point, I guess.
Let it die.
Once you lose it at launch, I think you're just screwed forever. We saw what happened to Evolve, which is a game that's way more interesting than BattleBorn, but suffered kind of the same fate. After it went to like season 2, they shut it down within like 3 months or something like that. So
is that I'm trying to think back on what happened to the second version of that. It's all gone now?
Evolve Stage 2? You can play it. I think you can still play it.
Exactly, yeah.
They're not supporting it anymore.
It's out of active development. There's no more Evolve coming.
Okay, I gotcha.
So we basically just called that the nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Although at the time we were like, maybe this is what they need to bring it back.
There was like a solid like week or two of resurgence for that game, and then it all faded away.
I'll tell you one thing, Evolve, no insults meant here, but it's a hell of a lot better than Dead by Daylight, and it's a hell of a lot better than Friday the 13th. So I know there's slightly different styles of games, but as far as asymmetrical stuff, that one, I can't believe that's the one of the 3 that ate it the hardest. I guess it has the highest like operational costs and stuff like that, but still, like that one is good.
Yeah, this is a great parallel too, even though these are totally different styles of game, Evolve and BattleBorn. This is a good parallel because they are sort of comparable in the way that their life cycles went. Like Evolve was supposed to be a big release, was pretty hyped up, and then there were a bunch of issues at launch that kept it from really achieving its potential, and now it's gone the full cycle with a free-to-play into eventually going moot. And now I'm pretty convinced that BattleBorn is on the same course, and it's looking at like an 1,100 to 1,200 concurrent player peak at the moment. It's just, I think it's time to put.
Is it overly cynical that I feel like the developers should also see the writing on the wall to the extent that they shouldn't put up this pretense like they can revive the game by any means?
How much is that the developer's call or the publisher's call?
The publisher, okay.
The publisher thinks they can squeeze more dollars out of it. They're going to keep trying to squeeze
more dollars. It's this weird, like, Frankenstein's monster situation where it's like, it's already dead, leave it alone.
It's
and
funny.
Like, no, we've got to bring it back to life.
It's funny, these are both 2K published as well, both Evolve and BattleBorn, so it's maybe stands
Speaks
to
to their
reason.
thinking on the higher up level, maybe.
2K then might have a little bit too much to... Well, they're hanging on by whatever thread they can find, I suppose. But
Mirage is a sad story.
Yeah.
Well, Grand Theft Auto 5 makes something like $90 million a month. So
is Mirage even out yet?
Yep. Oh, Mirage! So Mirage is like we don't need to talk about it on the show, but I played like 3 hours of that. It came out like 2 weeks ago.
It came out.
It's good, but like the servers are totally dead.
That's fucked up. Like, I didn't know I had it. It was in my inbox for a month, and it also is out.
They did a ton of paid. They did a ton of paid YouTuber promotion as well. Like
yes, they did.
Cast, the TB Circle, like they.
In fact, they might have had some paid promotion in place for somebody that's on the show today, but that somebody was a little busy for a weekend and then was asked to postpone it, and then they got canceled. So
they're like, we don't want to.
I think they're pulling back to just keep things going, and then I'm not even bitter about it. I actually think it's just it's kind of a sad story because Chivalry was really fun and has something like, I mean, it was free for a while on Steam, so the numbers aren't accurate, but it has like, 12 million owners or something like that. And then Mirage, you cannot find like, the way it's got the curse right now where like if you want to play on a server with a good ping, there's one that's like 8 out of 8 players and then everything else is 0. Yeah. So, and then
you can't do peer-to-peer like private rooms.
I mean, you probably could, but you got to bring all your own people.
Just saying, is it like NLSS potential or no?
Conceivably, but I also feel like it has like a weird bad blood around it that I don't understand because I didn't get that into the chivalry community. But they like, apparently people want chivalry too. Like people that were really into chivalry want like a better chivalry. And what this is more like chivalry mixed with Overwatch and the fact that you have abilities that are not like just swinging your sword and feinting and stuff like that. So some people like that and some people dislike that. But I thought it was fun in kind of a casualized chivalry sort of way.
Too much politics with video games. Just play them.
Let me reel this back in real quick, though.
Yeah.
Just because BattleBorn is free, and if this was if you've been waiting for an excuse to try it out, you can do so now on Steam and Xbox One. The PS4 version will be free on June 13th as well. So free game. At least there's a positive out of this story. But yeah, BattleBorn not looking like it's going to be making a recovery at this point.
I'll play it again once.
Really though?
Sure. I played Overwatch today.
Yeah, having played Overwatch today.
But Overwatch is like it's the reason that one of the reasons this game is like screwed.
The Centaur lady's actually really cool. I liked her. I would play her again.
Fair, yeah, but like the argument is just like why Battleborn win Overwatch?
If you already own
because
Overwatch.
It's a different kind of game.
Yeah, it's a different game.
I guess, yeah.
I mean,
I feel like I was saying that a lot back in the day when we were having that discussion.
That was definitely the continuation of the conversation.
Battleborn is more of a first-person MOBA than what Overwatch is, which is closer to TF2.
Yeah.
I guess like the reason I have contention with this discussion sometimes is that I kind of feel like we should let the game die. Like
we have to. There's no other option.
But the Battleborn story, I'm not sure if it necessarily feels like kicking them when they're down, but it's just like it feels like we're just bringing them back to be like, oh, hey, there's the class clown again. Like everybody laugh at the village idiot Battleborn. Look, it's trying to bring its business back. Like I almost feel like we should let it die with dignity and just be like, it tried and then it didn't quite succeed.
That's basically what
you're
this
telling me. I can't even play it if I want to.
No, I think you're allowed to play it, but I'll play it once out of pity. Is like
it's not out of pity as much as it's like this is the only other time there's ever going to be anyone playing it again.
That's true.
All right, but No Man's Sky though.
Yeah, that was another part.
Who had their bets on No Man's Sky? I gave it 6-1 odds of getting mentioned in chat. So collect your Roundtable bucks.
Someone tweeted me. Apparently, No Man's Sky is back. They're sending out cassette tapes to the loyal few who are still on board with the game, and it's just right back to their fucking cryptic ways, man. They never missed a beat. They've just been waiting until less people were paying attention, and then they've lured them in, man. They get them by the ropes. Never gonna end.
What's the end game?
I don't know. To loop, I guess, right? To get to the center of the universe and then reset it. That's what like life is really all about. Hey, kitty. Sorry, audio listeners. We're just gonna have to let you hang out for a little while.
The cat, yeah. And it's not.
This is very floppy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, kind of tossed it there.
She's fine.
Animal abuse. Hey, let's move on to the next story here. So CD Projekt Red getting hit with quite the statement today. So let me just read this verbatim for a little bit. A tweet made from CD Projekt Red's official account. Dear gamers, an unidentified individual or individuals have just informed us they are in possession of a few internal files belonging to CD Projekt Red. Among them are documents connected to early designs for the upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077. A demand for ransom has been made, saying that we should not comply. Should we not comply, the files will be released to the general public. We will not be giving in to the demands of the individual or individuals that have contacted us, which might eventually lead to the files being published online. The appropriate legal authorities will be informed about the situation. They go on to say that the documents are not representative of the current form of the game and to make sure that when the time is right, you get your information from the source rather than from leaks. But wow. Quite the
theory.
Yes.
Not unique I have seen other people say this. I think that it's a fake, like a marketing false flag ransomware.
Fake news.
Yes.
Sad.
And they're going to be
thing.
like, I think they're going to be like, doing an announcement at E3 that kind of goes on that like guerrilla hacking aesthetic.
Yeah, they say that the screen gets fuzzy and it's like, you did not pay our ransom.
I'm so glad that's the first thing you said, because I was going to give this an appropriate air of seriousness, because it is a serious situation if it's a real thing. They're actually being threatened by an individual for ransom. But at the same time, I can't help but see this and be like, wait a minute.
Stay woke, fellow kids.
It's a week before E3. I think perhaps this has something to do with the game. But I don't know.
Hey, if it does, then it worked. Like, game sites all over the place picked it up and did stories on it.
23,000 retweets. Yeah. So
if it is like a real, it's not really ransomware, but like it's kind of ransomware-esque. I'm more power to them for not paying the ransom, for one.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's like the most needless ransomware attack. Like, we're going to release like the script for your video game that's not going to come out for 2.5 years. Like, I think they're probably going to be fine. But I mean, I'm not privy to the details, to be fair. But I hope it's viral marketing, because it's kind of a cool marketing ARG sort of thing.
I don't understand why people in chat are like, "Oh, the dick move." Like, well, who cares?
yeah, I'm trying. So let's figure out where we are on this one. Is this towing the line a little bit? Is this beyond acceptable ARG material? If it is such
Ask
a thing.
Edmund McMillan.
The thing about the internet is when you tell them a thing or you make a story about a thing, then they often tend to make that thing real. So it's best to just like not get involved with those things, and that's what I wonder if like, because they did have an incident with The Witcher, right? Like somebody stole that.
I think they did steal. Like somebody got the script for The Witcher or something.
So
like
I
that.
don't know. Maybe they had that idea because that had happened already, or I don't know. I'm speculating this is even the way it happened in the first place, but I don't know if there's a positive from this. You could just release your game.
But
Just
we are
like-
also still just speculating that this is an ARG thing.
Yeah,
This
I
very
know.
well
That's
could
what
be
I
a
meant
real
when I
thing
said
as well.
if we're going down that line of thinking, then I don't love it. But, whatever. I guess it gets attention, and that's really all that matters in this capitalist world.
That's a hell of an ending sentence. But yeah, it's just it's quite the fascinating instance here. The I wonder how much they wanted. That's what my devious brain is thinking, man. I'm thinking like, what would I ask for from CD Projekt Red if I had like early screenshots of Cyberpunk 2077? I'm
I don't know,
thinking
like $50.
$50, something
Yeah.
around
They
that
sent them in
neighborhood.
my email. If I got like that info in my email, I would just move it to my game archive folder.
Yeah.
I wouldn't I don't even care. Are there people that are champing at the bit to get like info about this game that bad?
Oh, they absolutely, like a million %. I mean, with The
I didn't
Witcher 3,
realize.
The Witcher 3 is like considered probably one of the best games ever made. Certainly, like it heads and tails the best of the generation.
The
by
Witcher
most-
3 sold more copies Q1 of this year than it did Q1 2016.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
And then for like, you can be as cynical as you want about Cyberpunk if this is fake marketing, but they did announce the game with a teaser trailer 4 years ago and have just been like working it
Dead
the
silent.
whole time. So like, if you're cynical about marketing, this is like one of the least cynical kind of approaches they've taken. They literally were like, here's the aesthetic of the game, and we're just going to get in our offices and make it for like, 5 or 6 years. So I think like this is a game that people are very excited for.
Mhm.
And it's the first like new IP that they've done in
Anyone's made
like,
in 5 years.
like 10 years or something. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
What have they done other than Witcher 1, 2, and 3?
They must have been like, they must have done something before The Witcher, right?
Yeah.
Well, they weren't a video game company before The Witcher.
They weren't?
No.
No, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, that's news to me too.
So they started with localization
Yeah.
and then game development.
Their
And
They were
first
founded in
game was The Witcher.
1994. They were,
Yeah.
they were
94, wow.
retailers before they founded the company.
According to the internet, the first game they developed was 2007's The Witcher, which, man,
That's amazing.
that's a hell of a
And
track
that was
record.
based off of one of BioWare's earlier engines.
They have made Gwent now, so they've
Which is
branched
Witcher
out a
related,
little.
though.
Yeah, but it's got cards.
That's true.
This is like when you're playing Game Dev Tycoon, right? And you have this game that's set up perfectly and you hit all the notes and it's like 95s on all the scores. And then it's like, do I make a new IP or do I double down?
Oh,
and
man.
you stick with it.
Did you know that CD Projekt Red also made a free-to-play multiplayer online battle arena video game about The Witcher?
The
I had
Witcher
no
Battle
idea.
Arena?
In January of 2015, The Witcher Battle Arena.
Free-to-play MOBA.
The Witcher Battle Arena is a multiplayer MOBA set within the world of The Witcher. The game uses touchscreen controls. The game features 8 heroes, playable characters from the series. That sounds really bad.
Yeah, that
I'm
does
sorry to
sound good.
tell you. A MOBA with touch controls based on the Witcher universe.
That sounds awful.
Dude, apparently MOBAs on the phone are blowing up. Like,
Yeah.
touch control MOBAs. I've got a buddy who's just totally obsessed with one right now. Like,
What's he
apparently
playing?
I don't remember the name of it, but it's, I guess, there's you could probably Google
Just
it.
look for the screaming man face.
No, I think the MOBAs have to be a little more elegant in their icon design.
iOS MOBA. Let's see here.
Yeah, see
You know what? Just iOS charts.
Sure.
Minecraft,
go
number
to
one.
App Annie or something like that.
So
Annie.
the Witcher Battle Arena launched in January 22nd of 2015, and then the servers were shut down December 31st of 2015.
Oh no.
Didn't even make it a year before they shut the servers down.
At least they're trying new things, right?
Is it Big Fish Casino Best Slots?
That's the one. Yeah. Most
What a
popular
MOBA.
MOBA in all 3 major countries right now.
Is it Slot Machines House of Fun Vegas Casino Games?
You know what? I think that might be his second favorite. He mentioned that
Massively
in passing.
online betting arena.
Vainglory? Is Vainglory it?
I don't know.
Chat brought
I'm
up
not- I'm
It's
not gonna
Vainglory.
remember the name. It's probably it's Vainglory. Let's just say it's Vainglory.
It is.
That sounds good. Okay. Sweet. Anyway,
Chat says Vainglory is so shit.
well, I'll have to let him know. His favorite.
He has no idea.
Yeah.
I almost feel for mobile games you have to you got to cut it some slack. And the number one free game right now is just something called Balls versus Blocks.
Hell yes.
It's just fucking Ricochet, isn't it?
Let me click on it.
It's gotta be.
Wow, it's been making crazy. It's got 4.5 balls versus blocks.
Got 4.5 balls?
It's got 4.5 stars. Sorry, is what I
Oh,
mean to
shit,
say.
man. Okay.
How to play the hottest new game. It looks like it's a combination of Snake, Brick Breaker, and Balls, with the goal being to create a chain of balls that has enough power to break through numbered blocks. If your chain hits a block you can't break, you die. So it's the mobile style. We'll take like an arcade game and gussy it up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like Crossy Road, which I actually really enjoy, so I am a hypocrite.
I mean, there is like an app where you just like open CS:GO crates,
Really?
and that's
It's
it.
just
Get that
it's
adrenaline
like a
rush.
slot machine, but for CS:GO crates.
I don't even
Yeah.
think there's like any way to stop opening them. I think that's all you do is open them.
You open the app and then it just starts opening crates regardless of your
Something
input.
like that, and you
Probably
just get
tap the
stuff.
crate and you get stuff.
You don't even
but
have
it
to
doesn't-
tap it; it's just opening continuously, even in the
Yeah.
background.
You get the
When I-
rush of seeing the crate open, but you
Yeah.
don't get to keep any of the stuff inside.
When I was still into Magic, I did make like a Magic the Gathering pack opening simulator.
Oh, yeah.
So you could click a button and it would like simulate opening a booster pack, and then like you could open a fat pack or a booster box, or you could open a crate of booster boxes, and then it would give you like the like a pictograph of the distribution of rares and mythics and
Wow.
foils and stuff
Damn, dude.
based on the.
Dude, I gotta make my
probabilities.
own now.
Why
Now
did
that I
that
can
not-
make CS:GO knives, I can make my own app that just gives you pictures of knives
You could do that,
Dude,
yeah.
that
and
is
charge
the-
$1 for it. I'm gonna make $1 million.
You're cutting right down into the meat, dude. You got to eliminate all this nonsense clutter and just
Yeah,
get
no
right to what
animations,
makes
just a
people's
slideshow.
dopamine trigger. Oh man, yeah, that
I'm
actually,
cynical.
that programming bit does tangentially remind me. I think I actually told you about this, Ryan, but I had my brother one time do up a program that would print out the list of results if you bet $1,000 on a single roulette number. Like,
Yeah.
a bunch of times in a row. I just wanted to do some simulations to see if I was, going to break the system here and figure out a way to get rich quick. But
you figured it out. It turns out that the ultimate roulette hack is just a bet on the same number over
like
and over.
37 times in a row. And, like 20% of the time I ended up, more money than I had when I started. But most of the time I ended up hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So you gotta take the good with the bad, I guess, with that one. Anyway, CD Projekt Red, we'll see whether or not this is some viral marketing, but otherwise, good on them for standing up to bullies, because fuck some terrorists, am I right? Can I get a holla?
I don't know if I'd use the T word, but...
Let's call them
Oh,
bad
jeez,
people.
All right. Well,
no, bad people. That's what
Okay.
I switched in at the last second. The end is nigh.
Why do you have a fidget spinner, Nick?
You have a fidget spinner?
I got one before it was a cool thing to do.
Nick
It
has
was
a fidget spinner. The end is nigh.
It was like $1.70 on Amazon. I bought it with credit.
How
I
is
like it. Feels good to spin.
Does it? I had a feeling that, I might unironically enjoy having one.
I don't do tricks with them or any of that bullshit. I just spin it.
Yo! Oh my God! All right, this is it. This is gonna be the next big thing.
I'm just going to tell you it's too late. There's infinity fidget spinner apps already.
No, you get really good with fidget spinner tricks on one hand, and you do vape tricks with the other.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Hey, and you make vape rings, and you throw the fidget spinner through the center of them. Oh my God!
And then at the
Is
end of the
this a
video,
trick?
And then it's a new sport.
Yeah.
Is this a trick to hold it on one finger?
I think so, yeah. That's pretty badass.
I don't know. It must be.
You've descended into caricature if you hate PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but unironically use a fidget spinner in the podcast. We've crossed into through the looking glass, I think.
Yeah. It's a parallel dimension, I suppose.
Call it vape spinning.
Yeah, and at the end of every video, you cut the fidget spinner in half with a 1,000-degree knife.
Yeah.
And then crush it with a pneumatic press. Anyway, the end is nigh, and it's been announced. My goodness, out of nowhere it seemed like. I don't know if any of you guys even knew this was coming, but I had no idea. But here it is. The end is nigh. New game from Edmund McMillan, Tyler Glale. Full disclosure, it's worth mentioning that I think we can all consider ourselves friends of Edmund at this point. So let's take what we say with a grain of salt here. However,
I'm only friends with Tyler.
Okay, well, yeah, we can say that.
I'm friends with Tyrone. No one's friends.
The end is nigh, more or less, for all intents and purposes, looks like Super Meat Boy 2, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'd imagine you are too, Nick.
Why? Why would I like that?
Yeah, never mind. I don't think he's excited. Anybody else though feeling like this?
I'm pumped.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
very little gameplay was shown, but it does look like Meat Boy 2 in a weird way.
Yeah,
Not in a weird way. It looks like the same game engine, but with new stuff in it.
it's
Which is fine on
it's
me,
like a
bring it
on.
combo
I'm down.
of the Gish sort of art with. It's Meat Boy art more or less.
You
as
play
well,
as a tiny little blobby guy, and you jump around through stuff. Like, what's more to like than that?
Yeah, just this is more or less just excited about new game, man. And I'm wondering too, it had that at the start of the trailer they had the CRT screen looking areas, and it looks like that might actually be part of the game too. I can't quite determine if that was just a goof or if that's maybe just like the bonus levels. But anyway, there's a little bit of excitement.
There was Edmund tweeted one time that he was working on a cutscene that only 8 or 11% of players were ever going to see. And I was like, that's how I know I'm going to become one of those percentage. I got to be in that group. So you got me already.
Well, there's some cutscenes that only 0.5% of Isaac players have seen. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not sure the juice is worth the squeeze.
Damn.
That little missing poster flapping in the winds. What does it mean for the lore? But I mean, I'm excited about this because I think it symbolizes that Edmund is out of the Isaac prison of his own creation for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
This is the first thing. Well, I guess Fingered, but that always struck me as kind of like a 3-month-long project that came out. That it's he's free. He's made another game that's not Isaac, and then what he's going to do after this is another game that's not Isaac.
Yeah.
So. Maybe we're all starting to be free from the cosmic prison of probably the best roguelite ever made. No, dude, I'm scaling it back. I'm probably going to start doing one Isaac a day now.
Oh goodness, you're cutting
I
off
think
the drip, huh?
I think the world has turned, and and Isaac is starting to drift off into the sunset.
That's all good, man.
Are you gonna play this, Ryan?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
This is good. This is the way the world's supposed to be.
It feels healthy.
Ryan
doesn't
plays some platformers sometimes. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Going back
really
to
happy about
YouTube
this.
circa 2011.
Yeah, those were the best years, the golden years.
Can we
I mean,
get
I do-
that old YouTube layout again?
To
That
produce
really-
like 3 or 4 videos a day that are not Isaac, but
When are you finishing Hollow Knight though? When's Hollow Knight?
that's still got to happen, yeah.
Where'd you leave off on that, by the way?
I still got one more like
Soul boss.
Dream Guardian
Yeah.
thing to kill, and then I'm thinking like I was gonna do it this Sunday because I finished Deus Ex, but then like now we got the E3 thing happening on Sunday, so I've got a like convenient excuse to push it away. Did I push it again by like another week? I don't know. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. I like what you're saying though, man. I think this is bringing back the old times of custom YouTube bars on the side. You remember having our own splash work on there, man? All those big colors and
I worked so
blotches and-
hard making that.
God, I paid someone $5 for mine.
$5?
Wow,
You gave him a
spender.
$5?
He took a screenshot of like some game, and it just like he gradiented it into like pixelization. That was
Nice.
it.
There you go.
Mathis, you know you just do it for the exposure, right? You tell the artist.
I know. I actually
Okay.
paid him though. I gave him like $5.
That's a joke, by the way. Don't actually do that. It's a dick
I
thing to
should
do.
pay Dean an exposure.
Yeah, that's true. You should.
They love it. The artist can't get enough. It puts all the food on the table for him. Oh, it's fucked up.
I remember back in the day, man, like when the idea of capturing video from a console was still so novel. I had this
And messy.
yeah, definitely. I had this wonderful Halo 3 clip that I absolutely had to share with the internet. So I found this fellow on the MLG forums who only charged $20 to capture clips with his hopage. And I was happy to pay that price, man.
Oh, you say hopage?
Is a hopog?
I always heard hop hog, but
Hop
I like
hog?
your way better, actually.
Hopogay, I believe is how it's said. Yeah, those are the days. I don't pay for that anymore. I do it myself.
I want to charge people. I'll give you game footage. You
Yeah.
Give me $20.
That's the big money maker, man. Just the folks that can't capture it themselves. You got to be. Well, I mean, Ryan knows all about this. He hasn't captured his own video game footage in years, so
Why bother?
so-
Why would I play the game, which is the worst part, when I could just talk to myself for 45 minutes alone in my office over and over, which is the
I
fun
thought
part.
you seeded yourself. You're on Isaac runs, so you made sure you got win streaks.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I built a custom mod that it just allows you to bail out of any run that's bad enough while preserving your streak, and then I just delete those episodes.
Hell yeah, dude. Wasted time to putting up losses. Who's got time for that?
Exactly.
All right. So the end is nigh. This should be fun, man. July is actually looking pretty fucking good already. Let me just shoehorn this stuff in here. We were talking about this before the show, but Mathas and I, game we both love, Little Nightmares is apparently getting some free DLC content in
Hell
July
yes.
as well, which is really exciting. They got what?
Wait, I finished it too now.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, you did as well. So you also loved it, right?
I wouldn't say I loved it, but I liked it more than average.
Okay.
I'll take it.
You gonna play the 3 new free chapters though?
3 chapters is like as long as the whole game was.
I know, that's what I said.
Doubling that length from 2 hours to 4.
Doubling that length on 6-9, if you know what I mean, huh?
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I wonder if it'll be structured like the rest of the game, where it's sort of each one centered on a different monster again, or if it picks up where the story left off, which would be actually even more interesting.
The little teasers is like find out what happens to 9.
6.
6. Is it?
Six.
We
9.
play as 6, but there might be more.
6. Whatever. Find out what happens to the person you're playing as.
And then, of course,
All
Hollow
right.
Knight's getting some free content in the next month or so as well, which is really exciting. New bosses, new areas there. Should be fun. All right. Let's go into everybody's favorite game. It's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's 3 million owners. Jesus. That's a lot of people. The concurrent players are continually on the rise as well, which is maybe the more startling statistic of the bunch. We've got, at the moment, looking at a concurrent of 178,000.
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty absurd. The game is not going anywhere. In fact, all the opposite. It is here to stay and continues to grow.
Reported.
How much bigger is it gonna get? I'm thinking this is like, I think H1Z1 tapped into a market that was like waiting to explode, but it didn't quite. And like this is a point we've hammered into the ground already, but clearly we're seeing it come to fruition now. This is like a massive potential audience. Then there's more and more and more people who are coming to it that are realizing, oh shit, this is exactly what I want to play.
Yeah, enjoy it. Because I think we're kind of in this golden age before everybody pivots and starts making their own battle royale games. Like, this is
already coming.
Well, yeah. I mean, it
Wait,
feels
is that a
like,
joke or not? I can't tell.
No, it's not a joke.
There's like 4 battle royale games here on Earth. And if you think it sucks now, just remember what it was like when like Call of Duty Zombies were new. And then like 2 years later, there was like 10 of them a week that came out. So like, I think we're probably going to get to that point. But right now it's like you got like one game that most people still feel is pretty fresh. It has queues that are literally like less than 2 seconds long most of the time.
They're still like basically instant, which is insane.
You have to be careful. I actually get mad when I click the button, because sometimes I'm like, I'm going to click the button and then I'm going to like get a glass of water. And you click queue and it's just like, you're in. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy, which is probably like one of his biggest strengths. But I think the real story with Battlegrounds is that it's like maybe like the biggest success story on Steam in 5 years or something. Previously, I would have probably said Rocket League. And I mean, obviously, long-term Rocket League has been around a lot longer now. But this is like, it just keeps growing. It's out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see the next thing they really work on is just optimization. Because there are times in that game, recently, the past couple of days, where everything just fucking stops. Like, everything freezes up and the game hitches super hard. And I know I think that's server side. And the frame rate drops when traveling relatively fast and when there's a lot of things happening on screen. I would love the game to just be a smooth 60 at all times. I think that would help the game tremendously.
Well, I mean, no kidding.
But I'm saying, like, I would like them to. I want them to be their next big focus instead of like more stuff. Smooth out the experience.
This is definitely the most finished Battle Royale game that we've had thus far. But the question I do continually have is...
The Division is the most finished Battle Royale game that nobody plays.
I'm sorry. My question is, do you think this one will be finished? Do you think they'll come out of early access?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know at this point. It's hard to say whether a game's ever going to come out of early access or not.
But this is also like, we've talked about this before. Early access means different things to different companies.
Yeah.
For some companies, Battlegrounds would have just, the state that it came out in would have been 1.0.
Yeah.
And people would have been like, oh, it's out, but it's a little buggy. But instead, it's got this early access tag. So people are like, oh, are they just milking people for like in-dev money? But like their plan, I think, gives them the benefit of the doubt and the fact that they've adhered to it so far as well. So they want it to be finished, whatever that means internally for them by this winter. And they've been releasing patches like once every 2 weeks or so that are fairly transformative, even though some of them have introduced more bugs as well. But it feels
That's to be
like
expected.
Yeah, I mean, for now, it feels like they've got it screwed on straight.
Yeah.
But I take issue with the idea that, what does it mean to exit early access? As for 2 games being compared, what does it mean to exit early access? Some games come out, they're not in early access, and they're garbage, and then they go on to be supported throughout their lifetime. Some games come out of early access, they're perfect, and then they never get any changes. So,
yeah,
fair enough.
What's the advantage of coming out of early access for a game like that? Because as soon as you do, you have to take ownership for any problems there are.
I mean,
you already
do
take
anyway.
ownership. Yeah, like because of Steam refunds, it's not like early access games are immune to refunds. So I still don't understand the axe that people have to grind with early access games, except for if they've been burned themselves on stuff that they probably should have researched more in advance.
It's more understanding the nomenclature, what it means to who and why.
Yeah.
You can kind of read a little into their intention sometimes from it.
They've been, they have been fairly clear with their early access model, too. I mean, they've had it up on the Steam page, of course, the entire time, what their plan is. And ideally, well, I think I can believe that they're on pace to get out of it. But I do also agree with the fact that they are in a much more finished state than a lot of games are in their 1.0 version. So,
well, I mean, like people, they treat early access as if it's like a shell of what it's eventually going to be. And sometimes that's the case, where something comes out in early access and it's like barely more than a prototype and half the features don't work.
Yeah.
Battlegrounds in its present state is, keeping 200,000 people concurrently playing the game. So, and they're interacting with one another. It's not like 200 separate instances. So, it's a complex thing to architect in the first place. And I think, with the exception of the fact that it is unoptimized and still you have to press F 8 times to get a car, and tab looting doesn't work that well. I think they're doing a pretty good job.
How many times you have to press F to pick up loot in the beginning of the game?
Yeah.
He just sits there and goes until the helmet goes on.
I just like the way this looks on my screen. 48 hours played, in the top sellers, recommended by 2 friends. 35 friends already own this game. Is this game relevant to you? Not sure. Anyway, yeah, Battlegrounds, 3 million owners on Steam, totally absurd. Just growing more and more. Here's another question I had. Is it viable as a spectator esport? Do you think? How good is it as far as being able to watch solos play a big battle royale? Imagine 100 Grimm's level players all going at it.
I think it tends to watch. I've watched a little bit casually. If you're into you have to like it, I guess, is really the thing. If you don't like to play the game, I don't think you're gonna like watching it.
Yeah.
But it can be really kind of adrenaline-filled and tense to watch, and especially when you get to that top 10 situation, and the circle's getting smaller, and watching the person have to make snap decisions and watch them freak out. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm, not just to play devil's advocate, but I think it could be fun, but I feel like it needs a reinventing of the wheel to some extent. Because if you're starting with 100 disparate people spread across the entire map, I don't know how you weave a narrative out of that. You're we're going to check in on Pochinki now, and there's a gunfight between 2 people I've never heard of over here. And then in Rosehawk, somebody just got shot. But it needs some way. One way that they've done this so far is just to make it streamers exclusive, so everybody has their own storylines built in and their own audience. But for an actual the best 100 players are going to go. I don't know what you do to make it work. Maybe you have we're going to follow these 10 people, but what happens if they get eliminated before the finals?
Right.
I don't mean watching a squad play it internally is fun, or a solo or a duo. I just mean from an overhead camera John Madden
spectator
style.
Sports sort of thing.
Exactly.
I think it'll become more watchable when the smaller maps show up and there's less people to spectate. Instead of having to worry about 100 people when the smaller maps come out with the 50 people maps and whatever, that will be more doable.
Right.
Or we look at if you're looking at esports, style, 20 to 25 people maps of the top 25 players going against each other. That could be a lot more intense, especially if the map is a city. And that's it, just one big city.
Mm-hmm.
That could be really cool. But yeah, I agree. 100 people, that's really hard to track.
Definitely. All right, anyway. PUBG, Players Unknown's Battlegrounds, is still extremely popular and still growing at a ridiculous rate.
And still super fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and also there's this. Hold on, let me go ahead and give you the full visual Twitch chat. If you didn't know already, if you're a Twitch Prime user, you can get your hands on this just lovely new Twitch Prime exclusive Player Unknown's Battlegrounds gear. Check that out. You got yourself those stained, ripped pants and your good old-fashioned goggles over the mask look. Just really looking swell there. I like it. Yeah, I know Ryan's been rocking that look in his games. He's enjoying it.
I try to go around in the pregame lobby and ask people if they want my Twitch Prime mask, even though they might not be a Twitch Prime subscriber, but nobody seems to want to go for it for some reason.
That's a shame, man. That's a good
It makes you look like that one dude from Hellboy.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to look like Hellboy?
Vince Sapien.
Vince Sapien.
What's the dude's name from Hellboy?
The main sidekick guy.
Yeah.
The Fishman.
Fishman.
Yeah.
Hellboy.
Abe Sapien.
Abe Sapien.
Abe Sapien. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Yep. Comparable.
Like I said, like we were talking before the show, I'm glad it's not a gigantic, obnoxious, bright-ass purple shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a clip of H1Z1 where there's a dude. It was like Twitch incarnate. Like he was listening to like super loud music, and then when he was in the final 3, I think in H1Z1, and that game is like so colorful now. I forgot. Yeah. Like it's so unbelievably colorful that it looks like it's a cartoon. But like he pressed a button on his keyboard. His character did a backflip.
Saw this. Yeah, I saw this.
And then he no-scoped, like, one-tapped somebody from across the map with his rifle and was like, oh! And then, like, rapped along with the song. I got nothing against the dude, but I was like,
wow.
Like
he fired the gun as, like, the beat hit in the song, and he freaked out.
I believe he was also wearing, like, a unicorn hat. Like, it became, like, H1Z1 has become hilarious in contrast to Battlegrounds.
That's amazing.
Oh.
Holy shit.
I like Battlegrounds a lot because it's strategic. There's a lot of strategy involved, and you have to be patient.
I like the strategic in Battlegrounds too, man. I'm a big strategic fan.
Strategic. Loving the strategic.
Mm-hmm. Hey, y'all.
Clip that.
Hey, y'all. It's finally time for the biggest gamer convention of the year. It's E3 2017. Time to make our hopes and predictions for this year. Of course, all of our childlike wonder rests squarely upon the shoulders of the Electronics Entertainment Expo. We rely on this every year to fuel that which drives us and to quell our adult cynicism, because that's not what we need anymore, guys. What we need is a lot more hope and just blind enthusiasm for the future. That's what I believe in.
Hope, huh?
That's right.
Hope has a lot of meanings these days.
What are you talking about?
Go ahead, Bear.
I want to talk about our hopes and predictions for E3 2017. We'll start with EA. We're going to go in the order of the conference schedule here. We're going to start with EA. Sports? EA Sports, it's in the game?
Here's my bold prediction for the EA press conference.
Let's hear it.
Is they will do an EA Sports montage that is like less than 25% of the length of their press conference, and everybody on Twitter will go like, oh, Resident Sleeper, oh, they're making a new Madden this year, huh? Oh, a new FIFA, who would have thought, you know? And everyone will retweet those sports games. Anyway, I'm cynical about the cynicism about E3.
I'm cynical about your cynicism about the cynicism about E3.
I believe that is fair.
It's double XP weekend on Twitter, man. Anything you
You're
tweet,
totally right.
Stop showing FIFA, which consistently is beloved and well-reviewed every year, and tease a new Battlefront game that I'll get too excited for, pre-order, buy, and then hate when it's not that good.
You sound like Edmund in that YouTube video he did where he's like, it's not as good as they say it is. It's not as good.
Shit. So, yeah, so EA they are doing Battlegrounds 2, right?
Battlefront 2, yes.
Battlefront 2.
Field 2.
Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Star Wars
Battlefront 2, yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 was solid. The first one, anyway, the first game in that illustrious series. So I could maybe see myself getting my hopes up a little bit to play that. It's also that game still stands out. You remember when we saw that trailer in E3 2015 for Battlefront?
Oh, we all said this looks too good.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks too good.
Visually, it doesn't look real.
There's no way that's what the game looks like. The game kind of looked like that, and I feel like we're ignoring that.
The Frostbite engine can do amazing things.
Like, that was one of the best looking PS4 games to this day, still one of the best looking PS4 games I've ever played. It looked incredible, man.
It was good looking. It was a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
It didn't live up to the older Battlefronts, in my opinion, but it was still really fun.
Indeed.
I know people shit all over and like, this is not great, but I thought it was good.
That point in particular, though, I just wanted to hammer home. Was like, well, I was genuinely impressed with how much it actually looked like the trailer footage. That game is good looking.
Let's make some semi-bold predictions that, I mean, in the end are not going to be that bold because this is a billion-dollar company that, you know, they've had to have these projects in motion for like 2 years. Right. I think that my bold prediction is they will not announce a sequel to the World War I Battlefield game. But what they will do is announce like a Battlefield Hardline style side story to it that might not be full price and is more like a $30 sort of Far Cry Blood Dragon side story with multiplayer.
Okay. Anybody want to go up? I've got one in my head here. Anybody got a bold prediction for EA?
Some kind of... No, I don't.
No? How about this?
No.
How about this? EA only announces one new first-person shooter at E3 this year, and it's Battlefront 2. No more FPS.
But it's already
EA.
announced, right? Or I mean, even if it's not announced, there's like posters of it.
Right. Well, I'm saying like they don't do another FPS.
We could see the mysterious IP that BioWare has been working on.
Ooh,
Because BioWare is part of EA, so
Yeah.
they've just been working on a new game, and nobody. It's why Mass Effect Andromeda was being worked on by a different team than those who did the Mass Effect trilogy, because that team is working on a different game.
BioWare's new IP has elements from Destiny, The Division.
We might
Apparently
see that.
be-
No Man's
Reveal?
Sky, The Last Guardian.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's got all the perfect pieces.
I actually think there will. Here's a bolder prediction. They will have an element of the press conference where people are more cynical than they are during the inevitable sports montage, where I don't know, they'll get Derrick Rose on screen to talk about like their new NBA
Derrick
franchise
Rose,
or something. But then it will be when they do the world's most rushed Mass Effect Andromeda DLC announcement, and they are like, "Well, this is going to be crappy for the people doing the presenting, so we're just going to do it in like 5 minutes as quickly as possible."
Just gotta get that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they've got a proclivity to bring on. I mean, not irrelevant superstars in the athletic world, but
It's either going to be Derrick Rose or Migos.
yeah, you're not wrong. Derrick Rose, though, I guess he needs a comeback, doesn't he? Ever since that,
I thought he was still like the fourth best player in the NBA. It's been a while for me.
It's been a little minute.
Been a hot minute.
He had a little bit of a fall off from his MVP season. That's all I'll say.
What's the EA thing we're not thinking of that they haven't talked about in a while? Because that's the thing I predict is
it
going to be
maybe Need for Speed or
Actually, that's not bad.
Yeah?
Need for Speed might be a thing.
Here's The Sims.
Oh yeah, could be. We haven't
They
had, like,
announced a stuff pack for that, so I think they already covered that.
but we haven't had like a major new Sims release in a while, have we? We haven't like I think Sims 4 might have been the last one.
It's like 2013.
They're in the middle of
14.
their expansion pack cycle, so it takes about 5 years for them to make a new iteration, and then they reset all the expansion packs and then make you buy them again.
Yeah, got it. Oh,
I predict that they will announce something that allows them to announce something coming out for free on Origin from the back catalog, and everyone will respond with, "I don't want to download Origin."
yeah. And that'll get 140 retweets guaranteed.
Yeah.
Just tweet, I don't want to
free
download
game.
Origin.
On Origin.
But the thing is, like, Origin is like a million times better than Uplay is, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Sim City, there's no DRM. We promise. How about that?
They crushed Maxis though, so I don't know if they can.
Yeah.
Crushed him into
Do,
a
I know they
offloaded.
tiny little
owe they
ball.
owe Sims or they own Sim City, but I don't know if they can make another Sim City. Like I
They'll
don't know if they
find two
have
guys that have the ability.
I don't know if they have the tools or the elbow grease anymore.
We have the technology.
They got the grease for sure.
We can rebuild it, make it DRM free, and available to all. That's a $1 Million Man reference. A show I've never seen, but I know
The $6 Million Man.
The $6 Million Man. See, I've clearly
The $1
never
Million
seen it.
Man. That's he's doing all right, but
$6 million.
with
Man.
inflation, that's not doesn't buy you what it bought you in 1963.
It's true. Yeah, I don't think we've missed much else with EA. Yeah, again, apart from sports. Let's see. On to Microsoft then, which is going to be one. The first conference actually that we'll be covering over here, right here, where you're all at right now on Twitch.tv/Roundtable Podcast. Microsoft conference. Going to be seeing Halo 6 maybe, which I know it's ridiculous. Just let me have this. I'm pretty fucking excited still for it, man. I'm gonna play
Wait,
it.
let me clarify. This is a Halo game that does not exist yet,
Yeah.
and you're excited
I'm
for
really
it.
happy. I'm still happy that they're
But
making
why?
it. Man. I just love Halo so much. I haven't played a new one in a long time.
Where did they leave off in the last one?
Halo 5. Yeah, no, I don't even remember.
I never played 5
You
at
know,
all.
I did. I loved the campaign in Halo 4. Like, I really, really like it. I think it's one of the better video game campaigns that I've played.
I'm not sure I played 4 either.
But
I didn't.
the story in 4 was also like a little too cheesy, even though I did really enjoy it. But 5, I think was Guardians, so it's really taken a turn away from the original Master Chief saga timeline thing going on and gone its own route now. So it's interesting, but I'm not really even concerned all that much about the campaign. I just want to play a new multiplayer Halo game, and I'm wondering too if it'll be on Windows 10 because that would be
Yeah, because everything is. They say that's just universal now.
right.
Which was the one that had the orange demons in it? Was that 4 or 5?
That was 4.
Don't say 3.
Well, it is 3. Isn't it?
You almost said 3.
I think it's the Sentinels is what you're talking about, right?
I think so. I barely remember. There was something orange and it hated me.
Was that Halo or was?
No, it was Halo. Like I played ODST and I played Reach
Mm-hmm.
and I played 3 and I obviously played 1 and 2.
Orange.
And then I can't remember if I played 4 and I don't own 5. So I may have played 4, but I don't remember.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway,
I think it was 4.
anything else for Microsoft E3 2017 press conference? What are y'all thinking here?
Scorpio, right?
Probably gonna
Scorpio,
be some Scorpio, yeah.
proprietary VR headset or consumer grade HoloLens. Although I think that's too far out still to be
A lot of
super
please
likely.
buy our console, please.
They're coming up with buzzwords already for the new architecture, so I think they're going to spend a while talking about the chipset and the graphic stuff.
This is what they have to do to. I don't know how much eye rolling I'm going to get for this, but win E3 this year. Microsoft can only win with Scorpio, right? Because they're playing pretty fucking far behind Sony this year as far as the releases for 2017. PlayStation has been killing it. Microsoft not so much, but they have Scorpio. I think Scorpio has to be fucking outstanding, otherwise Sony is going to wipe the floor with them basically without.
Well,
even
but
trying.
Sony blew their load 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Right, like
that's-
everything that they made a big fuss about either came to fruition this
Was
year or
now out.
disappeared.
And they built a lot of goodwill from that, is what I'm saying.
They
Like
did, but you can't keep that trajectory and that momentum up.
yeah.
So, like, this is a year that Sony will be on the down compared to Microsoft, I think.
You think so?
Just by virtue of you can only make so many games. Unless I'm wrong and you can make more than so
I
many
don't
games.
know, actually. I think you can make more than just so many games. I think you're allowed to make more games.
Okay.
I'll come back to you on that one.
I don't know. I think this is Sony has the luxury of staying the status quo, and Microsoft has to do something a little bit. I mean, a Scorpio is going to be the big thing, I'm sure. But I kind of feel like I want Microsoft to announce something huge, and that has the potential to either go decently or terribly wrong, given their recent track record of public announcements.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll see. Man, do you ever realize, like, you think back to when the Xbox One launched and you had to have a Kinect?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God,
like
I
a
forgot about
different. That's like a different dimension, man.
We all got so upset, and they saw us all get so upset, and we're like, oh, man, that's a terrible idea. Why did we do that? And
I have a Kinect.
you still have one?
Why, it's plugged in, yeah, to our Xbox One. I sit down and it says, "Hi, Kate." My wife and I do not have a similar silhouette.
Is that
I've got
why-
a few inches on her in every dimension you could conceivably imagine. And yet when I sit down, it goes, "Hi, Kate." And I'm like, ugh.
Is that... How does that make you feel?
I mean, I don't know. I think it should make her feel bad. But it makes me feel like this is a piece of junk.
I was wondering if that's like the main reason why your shit ain't working is because you got that Kinect plugged in. You guys just gotta...
If so, like, I kind of blame the console.
Anytime the Kinect ever comes up, I always think of Milo. I always think of like that magical program that never was gonna happen.
What's Milo?
Ever.
That's Peter
was
Molyneux and his
little
virtual
boy.
son.
Yeah.
What is that? I don't know if I ever
You
saw
know,
this.
you missed that era of the game world because that
Oh
was
my God.
hilarious.
That was like
bunch of
Kinect
time.
1.0. And I just always think of like
Project Milo.
the tech. the tech demo they showed where like she drew something on paper and she just like waves it in front of the camera and he just like reaches out and
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
just grabs
wow,
it right into the
that's
world.
so cool.
Oh, I don't remember
I'm like,
this.
what the fuck?
He's just having a conversation with his little boy wonder.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's
They were dancing
God.
through the woods
that's
together.
very
It was great.
Molyneux-esque, man. That's beautiful.
Dude, after the show, I gotta watch this. A TED Talk from July 2010,
Oh, God.
where Peter Molyneux is giving the speech and it says, "Meet Milo, the virtual boy."
Oh man.
I have to watch this.
Oh,
Interrupt
that's
the
so
show
good.
for a bit.
But like it was, I just remember like the obviously scripted tech demos they were showing of it. I'm like, wow, technology has come such a long way. And then eventually, like the year after, they let like press people try it out, and they're like, it got the color of my shirt right. So,
Yay!
that's about it.
I don't like the Connect thing to begin with because the sign in that allows you to sign in with your silhouette annoys me because it's a security sham.
Yeah.
Like either just let anyone log in with the press of a button or like lock it down hard. Don't be like, oh, well, you have to look like the owner in silhouette to be able to unlock the console. Like, I'm not worried about someone stealing the Xbox One and then being able to use it if they're shaped similar to myself or my wife. But I'm like, why do I have to go through the hoop every time of being like, yes, this is me, if anybody that is within the bounds of, like, our physical dimensions could just
I can
unlock
tell you
it.
why. It's because they were looking for excuses to shoehorn in to make the thing have value.
I guess. Yeah, and then you like the first time you use it, you go, wow, it recognized me.
Yeah.
So,
Look, we're in a new realm of technology. It recognizes my face.
Do you also remember the ads for the Kinect where it was like two probably early 20s girls chatting with each other, and she's like, "How do I look in this?" And then it
Yeah,
would just like
flipping
digitally
through the
put like
dresses.
clothes on her,
Oh,
and she's like,
man.
"No, how about this?" And then like just swiping through dresses, and she's like, "That looks great." I'm like, That's not
What
even
app is
possible. Nothing.
oh, it never
happened.
came out. Yeah.
That was theoretical things you could do with this device that wasn't available at the time.
Someone might make this. Hopefully. We'll see.
I mean,
Dude,
you could
there's-
make clothes for Tony Hawk's American
got-
Wasteland and sell them and make money.
Instead,
There's
we
like
got
an
freaking
alternate-
Star Wars dancing.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, there you go.
there's like an alternate dimension where that stuff took off, and we should be happy we don't live in it because, like, instead things are like in a good spot relatively.
Yeah.
People are making like complex games instead of just like straight up Black Mirror, like pay real money to get a new hat for your avatar sort of stuff. For the most part, anyway.
So we know Microsoft has the Scorpio. We got the HoloLens, which we probably won't see too much more of, if anything. And they've also mentioned that they don't plan on showcasing a VR headset for the Xbox One at E3 this year, although apparently stuff is in the works for Microsoft. Supposedly they're going to be working on a wireless VR headset for the Xbox One as well, along with something for PCs. So kind of curious to hear what they got going on with that. I am really hoping that we are closing in on V2 VR because I'm hearing all these stories about companies that are, up and coming that are making these VR headsets that have like 3 times the resolution with 2 times the pixel density that are like 40% smaller. And I want that now, right now. Please give me that.
Given where we are now with those stats you just said, we need like even one more gen for it to be where it needs
But
to be.
that alone is like, oh my god, that fixes
It's a huge step
every
up.
issue that I've got with VR right now. It's like it fixes it, and it can get better, obviously beyond that. But
Yeah.
that is big time. That is so huge. So
I have heard like awesome things about the HoloLens. I know it's not a VR headset,
yeah.
but I've also heard that it's still like, well, the dev kit or like whatever version they're selling to developers is like unbelievably expensive.
it's like $3
like,
grand or something, isn't it?
I thought it was like 10.
Really?
but,
Oh shit.
like, I mean, it's pricey, and then it's still also like a little science fiction. Like it's not even close to being ready. But this is anecdotal.
Yeah. Now, the HoloLens is still mostly anecdotal anyway. The thing is not really available at the
Mystery
consumer
game.
If
level
I can
yet.
get Milo to live in my HoloLens, and he can just live in my house through the HoloLens,
When-
that's the next step.
When Milo came out, when that video was going around, people were like, I can't believe we thought so little of him when he made Fable. Like he knew what he was doing. We just
a
didn't
visionary.
understand. we weren't on his level yet. We didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. But Milo is changing the game.
What if he still is ahead of us, man, and we just don't realize it anymore? What if
I think he lapped us.
What if Goddess is? Yeah, there you go. He lapped us.
No, you know the thing with Peter Molyneux is that I think he is like he's like a psychic hack for the human mind.
Mm-hmm.
Is that he comes up with these amazingly creative and ambitious ideas, and people just innately have a flaw where we want to believe that. Yeah. And then the secondary flaw is feeling betrayed when it doesn't come out.
Yeah.
He's like he's like a piece of freaking malware with his communication. He short circuits the human mind.
How we always say you can't, like, anybody can be the idea man. You can't actually make a living out of it. He's what happens if an idea man ends up owning, like, running a business.
Peter.
And I almost feel like, Black and White and Populous, like
and Dungeon Keeper.
You're right, yeah. He like delivered 2 or 3 times, but then maybe he just, he got in that George Lucas position where people were like, well, eventually you gotta like make it, And once he starts signing the checks, I guess you're already done. Like
Peter Malware knew.
I can't imagine being on the Goddess team. And then he's explaining it to you. Sorry, not the Goddess team. I mean, the Curiosity team.
Oh, right. Where
he's like, so here's what we're going to do is we're going to make people like click on the cube, and the last person to click on it's going to get something life-changing, the ability to have an equity share in Goddess. And then people on the team, as long as they're thinking straight, they got to be like, I'm just going to collect my paychecks and I'm cashing them as soon as I get out of the office, because this is fucking crazy. There's no way that when like that revelation comes out at the end, people are going to be like, good one. They're going to lose their minds.
Maybe he didn't tell anybody else.
Maybe, but like in the end, you're like, I'm thinking like if you're the programmer, one of the programmers at 13 Cans, you're like, I'm just literally making
22 cans.
20. Sorry, well, it was 22 when they made it, and then they lost 9 after that. But then, like, you're like, okay, hey Peter, I made the cube that people can click on. What now? And then you're like, oh, now we wait. All right, I'll be in my office.
But when Peter Molyneux says "now we wait," you believe him at the first. You hear him say that, you're like, oh,
you don't ask too many questions.
He's got something up his sleeve. Okay, I'm ready for this. Oh, man. I guess we could see more about what the hell is going on with Cuphead, man. Is that 2017?
Oh, is that going on my list of indie games that are never coming out?
Exactly. That's another chasm, man. That thing,
I thought that was that's like that's common.
It's soon, isn't it? Mid 2017.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I thought they had a release date. I can't remember.
I don't see one right now, but I'm not
now
sure.
Shooting for mid 2017 release. So you're pretty much, if we don't have a release date now, that's not coming in mid 2017.
Yeah.
But
Crackdown 3, I guess, is coming around as well. That could be. Yeah. I played the first one.
Crackdown 3.
You guys?
I hope it comes out on PC. I like Crackdown
I
a lot.
hope it comes out on PC.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I believe, most of Microsoft stuff. So we'll see.
Minecraft.
Story mode season 2, right?
Pine Tree add-on 6.0. The Ducks have hats now.
There we go. Hit me with those bold prediction. Yeah, you got it.
New Forza. I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, but I'm going to guess that there's going to be a new Forza game.
Whoa.
Well, hold on. You said.
I thought you had something to say. You just wanted to say.
No, I'm surprised by the new Forza game.
Wait, no. Okay, here's the cynical bold prediction: is that they will do an overly long segment in the big press conference where they talk about Mixer, the new like live streaming app.
Oh, right, yeah, that's the one that was formerly Beam.
Yes. Yeah. And it will create some awkwardness because a lot of people are going to be watching on Twitch while Microsoft promotes Mixer, and the chat will get an irony crossfade going on that is going to be hard to parse.
How ironic, since it's called Mixer.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nice.
That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Beam.
I'm going to turn my bold prediction into a wishful prediction, and I'm going to say Halo Master Chief Collection on Windows 10.
Will be broken.
very
I
presumptuous.
know. This is not a prediction. This is my wish.
Okay, you can have a wish.
This
Just
is my
don't
hope.
invest. Don't invest too hard.
Yeah, you can't. You got burned so
I know,
hard.
man. You don't think I know? It
You're
hurts.
the problem, Bear.
You gotta own up to it.
We gotta fix it. They have to fix it. They have to do it right. They have to make right by me. They gotta put it out on the fucking PC.
You're like those dudes on the Steam forums for like the zombie games that are never gonna leave early access, and then they're like,
Zomboid is gonna come out.
they're like, just you wait.
It's gonna happen.
The Epsilon patch comes next month, and it's
Wait.
gonna fix all the problems.
Is Zomboid not in full release still?
God no.
That's not funny.
They introduced they recently introduced cars.
Dude,
no.
there was some pain when
Yeah.
you said that. Oh, I heard
course
that in
there's
your
pain.
voice.
I'm gonna make an official list of indie games I've been following since I started doing YouTube that still aren't out.
Oh, that's a sad list. I don't want to see that list.
It is a sad list.
Let's not
Did you
make
guys
that.
see the Forza? I don't know what it's like expansion pack, but it's like Hot Wheels Forza.
Isn't it Forza?
Forza. It's Italian, so probably yeah.
Forza?
CD Projekt.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's like a Hot Wheels expansion, and it looks
Yeah.
really cool, and I want to play that.
is pretty
Can
dope.
they make like its own version of that? That's not like you have to buy Forza. That'd be fun.
Forza's cool, man. Like, if you like racing games, the
I do.
Forza games are really, really
Oh
solid.
yeah, I actually have an Xbox One now. What the hell am I complaining about?
You can
It's easy to
also
forget,
get it.
man.
Well, I mean,
I
you
forgot.
can also, like you said, you can buy Forza Horizon 3 for Windows 10 as well. So,
No, I don't have Windows 10 though,
oh right, yeah.
Yeah,
well, you can
Windows
play
but I
on
have an
Xbox
Xbox
One.
One, so that's I kind of fixed my own problem there. Never mind.
Can you call it for you?
Yeah, you could call it for you. Sure.
All right.
Go for it. Go for you, it.
Sweet.
What is neck dot supposed to mean?
They're giving you the Robs, but they turned it into the Knicks.
I'm mad that I forgot I had an Xbox One. You didn't remember either.
I didn't. I forgot for a while, man. That thing was in a fucking box for months until Halo Master Chief Collection came around and really turned that ship, didn't it? Bethesda's next. Sunday, June 11th at 9 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. But
I'm going to steal everybody's bold prediction
Hit it.
that everybody wants to happen, but probably won't, and that's Fallout Fallout 4 tangential side story.
Like
That's
like
not
New
my
New
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah.
I want that. I don't want it to be Bethesda though. I want them
Yeah,
to give the
yeah.
engine to Obsidian or something. That'd be great. But
We do have Fallout
else?
4 VR coming around, which is an interesting concept for sure. I haven't seen much. I don't know if you guys have what that actually is going to be, but I am very curious. I'm hoping that they showcase it a bit on the show. But apart from that, what do they got? They got Skyrim coming to the Switch. Big news.
Doom 2 2017
Yeah?
or 18 probably.
Probably
more
18.
likely.
it would be
I'd say,
good.
yeah.
I'm down for that.
New
100%.
Wolfenstein or new
Yeah,
Doom.
that'd
Right.
be good too.
Mhm.
They need to go hard on Doom. I don't think Wolfenstein is panning out for him anymore.
You think we'll get the new single player Elder Scrolls?
Oh,
been a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
It has, but I don't think so still.
With the Elder Scrolls Online performing how it has, and the fact that they had a pretty big update to that recently, they've got
Well, yeah, the expansion just dropped.
right.
and got,
Yeah, they've got
so far
the-
really good reviews.
They've got the Skyrim Switch port. They've got Fallout 4 VR. I don't know, man. I don't think it's the time yet for for Elder Scrolls 6, but might get surprised. That's a bold prediction right there. Elder Scrolls 6 sneak peek, probably like a 2019 release if anything.
Nah.
But no.
Once you turn a franchise into an MMO, it takes like a decade to recover and start pumping out stuff in that franchise ever again.
Oh, well,
It's
hold
true
on.
though.
Look-
It is.
Final
Look at,
Fantasy 11 to 12. I don't think
that's
they
the
had that
only
issue. That's the
exception.
only exception. Okay.
Final Fantasy 11 to 12 is an exception, but then they went off base. It was like they had a hangover after. They were like 13, 13-2, 13-3, 14 botch launch, then 14, and it's been like 5 years since 14 came out, and now 15
Right.
came out in the fall. So, like, same thing, Warcraft, sorry, like, you're just done. Like, I think...
We'll get a World of Warcraft 2 before we get a Warcraft 4.
Probably,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
well, I mean, to be fair and somewhat on an aside, why would you make a real-time strategy game?
Yeah,
In-
this
in
climate,
2017,
yeah,
like-
there's no reason.
For people like Rob.
Just make
but
it
like
the Rob.
you're gonna. I can see like a StarCraft 3 existing at some point, but you're gonna spend like $50 million to make a new RTS. I don't know.
They have to
felt
add
like-
some new lore for new WoW expansion packs, right?
Well, that's all in
I feel
Hearthstone now.
At this point, with like as far as World of Warcraft is concerned, how many like world-ending events can you continue to bring up before one of them just wins and the whole thing just implodes, and then World of Warcraft 2 gets like birthed?
Then you destroy the world and bring them everybody goes to the Emerald Dream.
There you go.
Emerald Dream's gonna happen one day.
I remember that was like 2011 they were talking about doing that.
Yeah, it still hasn't happened.
There's
About that Emerald Dream.
There's a shady source going around. Apparently, they've got a new IP in the works called Starfield. Supposedly some
What,
sort
Bethesda?
of supposedly some sort of sci-fi open world game akin to Fallout, but with a sci-fi feel and theme to it. So that could be something to look out for.
Chad
Otherwise,
says Emerald Dream happened already.
Well,
We're just scrubbed and
Legion
didn't play
wasn't
it.
focused on Emerald Dream though. Like Emerald Dream was in Legion, but it wasn't like the main focus. Did they wrap up the Emerald Dream storyline? I forget. Starfield
No
though,
idea.
hey, give me like a spacefaring, like have my own spaceship, wander openly in space. That'd be cool.
yeah. I could be definitely down for that. I think Bethesda would be well suited to that sort of pursuit. Otherwise, I don't know what else to be looking at with them. Bold prediction
Yeah.
from the Bethesda segment.
Dishonored 2 DLC if it sold well enough to warrant.
That's not exactly
hope it
bold. You can't make a conditional
I
bold
thought we were
prediction.
just calling everything bold at
I
this
guess
point.
so,
I didn't
yeah,
know.
why not? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put my feet over the fire and say it's gonna be Elder Scrolls 6. Elder Scrolls 6. Let's see it, man.
I'm gonna go with the Fallout side story thing.
I think we'll see a Fallout side story before we see Elder Scrolls 6.
I'm rooting for Doom 2 2017.
Fuck yeah.
I
dude.
could see a new Doom.
Yeah, me too.
I could see a new Doom or a new Wolfenstein. Yeah.
All right, we got a wild card thrown in the mix this year. We got Devolver Digital going to be going up.
So basically, who knows?
Yeah,
Absolver.
Yeah, Absolver.
no idea.
That's it.
No idea what that's going to be, but I'm excited to see that
Could be anything.
I mean, this, I don't really know exactly how they are being included in the mix here, but it seems like they're more or less being given a spot at the table along with the big boys, aren't they? Which is cool. Like, they are in a proper E3 conference setting. That's neat to see a lower scale publisher getting involved.
You're
in the
telling me.
mix. Right?
Just joking.
So that's cool. We'll be excited to see what comes of that one. Monday brings us Ubisoft at 1 o'clock. Ubisoft.
They already
Assassin's Creed.
revealed everything. So
More or
the
less,
Crew
yeah,
2,
they've-
Far Cry 5.
Assassin's Creed,
Assassin's
Egypt.
Creed.
Yeah.
We know a little bit more about Far Cry 5 now. We know the setting in rural Montana.
Yeah.
I can't think that Ubisoft is on bold predictionable. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's true.
And the official announcement of the closure of Uplay.
Oh, now that's
Right?
dude. I would actually.
Cheer,
I
clap.
would. There would be 6 months of no Ubisoft cynicism if they were just like, we're canceling the Uplay division, and now we're just using like Steamworks for multiplayer.
Dude, imagine they
I
just
would
get up on
lose
stage, Eve Guillermo up there front and center like, y'all, we fucked up. Uplay's just garbage. Just go back to Steam. We'll figure it out. We'll re-release something better. We're sorry. And you're right. I would be like, you know what, Ubisoft? You win for a couple years.
That is an olive branch and a half.
That is not
How
bad.
can this service still exist? Like we had the problems with Blacklist, the same problems. Blacklist, Assassin's Creed 4,
Ghost Recon.
Rainbow Six Siege, Ghost Recon, and For Honor. And then, like privy to our other Steam conversation, people were running into the same issue with Bridge Crew. And we were like, oh yeah, so here's the thing. Like sometimes, here's the gamut of issues. If you just can't connect, everybody has to close down and relog into Uplay.
Yep.
If you used to be friends with each other, but you don't see each other anymore, that means the person who originally sent the friend request has to delete you as a friend, or might have accidentally had you deleted by Uplay and then had to re-add you. And even then, if two people, for whatever reason, have like conflicting NAT settings, they just can't join each other. So I mean, I can't believe that these have persisted for like 4 years, but we're
Here's
getting
how everybody wins. They come out with the service, $10 a month, and you don't have to use Uplay anymore.
No, that I would be so mad.
It's $10 a month, and you get to not use it, and Steam takes over
Hell
for
yeah,
everything.
dude.
Chat was saying, "Remember Shoot Mania?" I was like, "Yeah, I remember Shoot Mania."
Hang on a sec.
I've
You guys
heard
keep
that
going.
name.
It sounds like
Yeah.
somebody. My cat's freaking out and making it seem like someone's breaking into my apartment. So hang on.
All right, well, this would be
He's got a
really good for the popularity of the show.
He's got a guard cat. Yeah, hold on. Let's just wait until somebody breaks into his house, and then we can
You
end up
call
on
it
live
You
stream
Pay.
kills. You pay.
Shoot
Oh,
Mania
shit.
was pretty good. Well, it was weird. Shoot Mania was weird. It was like competitive laser tag.
What was that?
But Josh and I probably played like 20 hours of that, and at one point I almost bought a Shoot Mania Storm server.
Really?
Those were the days.
Wow, that's
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta buy a server. I've been hit with that bug recently too.
Oh my god, dude. There is a massive thunderstorm right above my house. Holy shit.
No, it's connected. It's the thunderstorm got Mathas.
Dude.
Now it's coming for you.
That was house shaking thunder. That was scary. Oh my god. Okay, hopefully
I did hear it.
Hopefully we can finish the show. Yeah, so Ubisoft. Here's a big one, Mario and Rabbids crossover. Y'all ready for this?
What is that? I was just tearing that shit up with Rob this morning, and we don't know what that is.
That is, what was the, oh my god, I can't remember the caption that the little rabbit that looks like Peach was taking with her selfie. Do you remember what it was? Everyone was
No,
sharing
but
it
I
around.
remember
It was
being
like,
shocked by it.
Hey baby. Something like that.
Sorry, what?
You know,
Hey,
you know what I'm
baby.
talking about.
I have this new neighbor. Sorry, derail.
No, go ahead.
New neighbor walking by. She lives upstairs. I don't know. She's got to be in her 60s or something.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And she has this thing where she absolutely feels like she needs to feed the wild animals on my lawn. That's part of my apartment.
Yeah.
That's against
So
the
she-
Strata agreement most
So
of the
she just
time.
usually it's ripped up bread, random fruit. Today, she dumped an entire thing of French fries, just all over my
On
my
your
front
lawn.
lawn. There's fries everywhere. French
My mom
fries.
does that shit too.
And
Do
there's
not-
birds and
Yeah.
chipmunks and stuff landing and walking up, and we had rabbits come up in the morning.
You're gonna
Usually they
create a
have,
vermin infestation.
Yeah,
Well, that's
seriously.
what I'm saying. Now there's all kinds of just rodents and stuff out there, just chewing on the fruit and stuff. Now it's like a freaking McDonald's fry. It's just fucking everywhere.
That is hilarious, but you should actually stop her because you're going to create a problem.
I never catch her doing it. I just think that's what the cats are freaking out about because the fries weren't there an hour ago, and now
Up
they're
here,
there.
You do that shit around here, you get a bear. It's no joke.
I show up.
Yeah.
I come beat your ass. You start dumping fries somewhere.
Bear just shows up on your lawn,
Yeah.
just beats you up
Soon
for
as-
some reason.
As soon as this is over, as soon as the
You're
podcast is
mad.
over, I'm going out there with the broom,
Do
and I'm
it,
just
man.
getting rid of it.
Uh,
Why does it have to be in front of mine? Because I get it. You live directly upstairs. You want to look over the balcony in the morning and just see rabbits and squirrels eating French fries.
what
That's BS.
what is this? I just saw a quote about this goddamn game.
About Mario
The
Rabbids?
Mario plus Rabid Kingdom Battle, an inside look, and the quote is, "The DK Rabid apparently will dab periodically."
Nice.
I can't muster any optimism about this.
Why would you?
Because we don't know anything about it, but I mean, they're minions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
No, they are.
They are.
They're
All right,
minions
yeah.
with rabbit ears.
so this is what when people are like, I want to get a Switch, but first I want it to have third-party support. I'm like, careful what you wish for.
We got South Park: The Fractured But Whole coming out later on.
I
in the
forgot
year.
about that game.
Yeah, it was that was supposed to be coming out actually early 2017. I'm pretty sure, but it'll be-
Yeah, they give it a big delay.
yeah. So end of the year hopefully is what we're looking at for that. But I would definitely rather that be delayed because it's looking pretty fucking solid. And what I've played so far is really good too. So I'm excited for that. The Crew 2.
Fun game to read the YouTube comments for in 2017.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Mm-hmm.
Can't imagine what kind of community that's going to engender.
This is the 6ix9ine episode, man. I don't have any shame anymore. Not South. The Crew 2 Which, Nick, I remain convinced that you and I will play this one day.
Yeah, we're gonna do a trip across America together.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they have a Honda Civic in it.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
One murdered out
wheels and rims. Maybe I could get it in gold, unlike the real world.
Gold. Just
You could just crowdsource like a murdered out Honda Civic wrap for your car.
Oh yeah,
You
could totally do that.
Who's gonna write the lyrics though? Probably you.
No, it's
Right
with
here.
wrap with the W.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. But I want both now. Yeah.
We call it a wrap in the business.
I got you.
I just figured it would play on the stereo the whole time while I'm driving the gold car.
And I don't know if there's much else beyond that. Bold predictions here, Ubisoft-wise. I mean, it's a joke at this point, but there's potential. Maybe we could see like a Watch Dogs mobile game, which kind of already exists.
Oh, like they did the Tomb Raider mobile game. Maybe it could be like that.
That's Square Enix.
The one that was. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. I
that's-
just mean Watch Dogs. I'm saying it's similar
Right.
in that it's sort of a puzzle, similar approach.
There was the there was the fucking. Didn't they do an Assassin's Creed one? Ubisoft. They did Assassin's Creed Go.
They did a
Chronicles or,
Hitman one.
No,
Creed.
Hitman. No, that's what I was thinking of. Hitman Go.
That's Square Enix.
Yeah, that's also Square Enix.
It's the point is it's a similar
Right,
idea.
Yes.
They did a Deus Ex one too. I'm gonna let you know that one was Square Enix in advance.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
You know what I would like to see, and I have no expectation, but it would be sweet, is if they just had like a new main series Rayman,
Yeah,
That'd be great.
that'd be pretty dope.
Every so often they hit that. Yeah.
and then
Give me a
I don't know.
pirate game.
Just Dance.
Pirate game, dude. Let me see another Black Flag-esque sort of project, dude. I would love that.
Some 2-year anniversary Rainbow Six Siege content. Not that the game is suffering right now, but something that they try to do like a Blizzard style soft relaunch to get like a huge community push behind it. Those are my bold predictions.
Will we see Aisha Tyler again? They're saying maybe not. They're saying supposedly the developers will be the central focus this year, so that's interesting too. And it is also worth noting that Vivendi may still be taking over Ubisoft, so
Yeah.
it might be a totally different company this
I
time
want
next
that to
year.
happen during the conference.
You're right.
That, like some guy just walks on and like takes the mic.
That'd be
You know,
great.
there's a Switch Just Dance game coming out, and in the commercial, they show people on a public bus dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Don't
like
do
that's a
that.
menace.
Don't do that.
Don't
Dangerous.
ever presume that anyone wants to dance on a public bus.
Yeah. That's a safe bet. Moving to Sony. The big one, the big guns. Sony had a big year, early 2017, lots of major releases. Finished off 2016 pretty strong too, of course. So they've got all kinds of goodwill coming into this one. Don't know what to really expect now, though, because like Nick said, a lot of the games that they were really hyping up have already now been released, so...
Or have
Well, yeah.
gone off radar, like the Final Fantasy remake and God of War reboot.
Yeah, so God of War I'm fully
I don't
expecting
think
to
those
see.
are off the radar.
No, they're off radar as in they're in deep development at the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah.
and they're not ready to be talked about again.
We'll probably see more God of War.
Yeah.
I would say we'd see more God of War.
Same.
No, I thought they
def-
confirmed there wasn't more God of War this
Oh,
year.
really? Well, I didn't see that. Maybe, yeah, you might be right then. We'll probably see. My guess is we'll see some more of the Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Definitely
That's confirmed, actually.
See, I don't know what's confirmed and what's not, so I'm just going to throw things out there.
Mhm.
Who thinks we're going to see Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh, man. Fuck me, dude. That's
I didn't
been
see
like,
anything saying no, so maybe.
Was it
We'll
2015 they first revealed it, right? And then I don't think they had anything last
Wait,
year
what
for
zombie
it.
game? Are you talking about like...
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, I was reading chat. Yeah.
This is another just I hope, really, as far as that's concerned. But I think it's about time, and I'm pretty sure 2018 is their ETA for it. So hopefully,
What about Bloodborne 2? You think we might see a Bloodborne 2?
I thought...
what is From doing?
Yeah, don't quote me on this, but I thought that From was like, we're working on a new thing.
Yeah, they did say that. I had this exact same conversation with Rob today, and I think the only way they're making a Bloodborne 2 is if they get a completely different group to do it. because the From team is like they're not on this right now. But Sony has the property; they can do it if they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
So,
don't think it's.
I'm doubtful,
I don't
but
think
maybe.
it's probably not the year for that. What about what was that game called? It's the new David Cage one.
Detroit Beyond Human.
Yeah, or is it?
Oh yeah.
Is that
God,
still a
David
thing?
Cage?
Also off the radar in deep development at the moment. I don't
But
think they're showing it again.
Very much still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I also read a rumor. I read a rumor like 2 days ago that
Detroit
we
Become
may be-
Human, not Beyond.
That's
Human.
it.
Yeah, we
Too human.
that Bully 2 is in development as a PS4 exclusive.
Oh,
That'd be interesting, sure. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
have you guys played Bully?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, I loved Bully.
It's really good, isn't it?
one of my favorite Rockstar games. I love Bully. I'm sad that it'll be a PS4 exclusive if the rumors are true.
Yeah.
Okay, here I got a source, which is rare for this show.
Nice.
All the PlayStation games confirmed for E3 2017 so far.
Ooh, big one.
And I'm not going to name the ones that no one cares about.
Okay.
So, stop playing an advertisement. Okay. It won't let me pause it. This is hell. Okay. It's too loud. Amazon, I don't care about your advertisement. I don't want to say.
Okay.
Okay, the video player finally paused. Call of Duty World War II, Crash Bandicoot, Insane Trilogy, The Crew 2, Darksiders 3, Days Gone was the zombie game I was thinking of.
Okay.
Detroit is going to be there.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be there.
Sweet.
God of War is going to be there. Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be there.
Nice.
Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. But like a lot of these are multi-platform. So those are the big ones. Spider-Man,
What about Shenmue?
not
That recently
there.
got delayed to late 2018.
Oh, okay. Okay. Death Stranding, I've heard, is not going to be presented this year either.
That's not surprising.
Is there going to be anything hardware-wise, do you think? I don't know if this is really the year for them to be coming out with anything new. They've got PlayStation VR
They just did the Pro, so like
Yeah,
there's no time for that right now.
and they've got the gold PlayStation now, which I know you are obligated to buy.
People keep
basically.
telling me about that. If it was a PS4 Pro, I'd be maybe interested,
It's
but I'm
not?
not going to buy another. No, it's a regular.
Oh, I thought it was the Pro. I thought for sure.
I
it was
don't
the
need
Pro.
another regular PS4.
Huh?
I already have one of those.
Yeah.
I barely want the Pro, but if it's gold, I mean, maybe I'll figure it out.
I don't think. I don't think they're going to be really talking about hardware at all. I'm pretty sure they're in a good spot. The Pro's
Yeah, NAC
out.
2 has been confirmed.
Yeah.
Which one?
NAC 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't believe they sold enough to want to do that.
That is
but
exactly
sure.
what I thought about it. Yeah, that is extremely surprising. Okay.
Because that was one of like 3 games that was available in the
Yeah.
console's launch. So people didn't have much of a
guess.
choice.
Still, you got to read the room. Jeez.
NAC 2.
So Sony, I think it's not necessarily insane to think that one of our bold predictions may actually come true here, because they've pulled some rabbits out of the hat before. They may do it again.
What's Naughty Dog doing?
That's a good question.
Last of Us 2.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh,
They're so naughty.
It's not just called that, right? It's like Last of Us Episode 2 or something, right?
Part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah. It's probably like Last of Us Part 2, yeah.
I accidentally Googled the last episode. So, real quick,
The Last Guardian.
what do you guys think are the first 3 results for autofill for the last episode in Google? The last episode
Leftovers.
of what?
The Leftovers.
No.
Lost.
Breaking Bad.
No, man. It's the last episode of Naruto, the last episode of Naruto Shippuden, or the last episode of The Vampire Diaries.
This is based on your search history.
Oh.
I mean,
This is news to me.
Naruto did recently end, so I thought it could have been topical.
Never looked at Naruto before.
The last episode of... No, it's the same exact thing for me.
Nice. There we go.
Naruto Shippuden, The Vampire Diaries, and then Friends.
Theory disproven.
Oh, it's different in Canada.
Wow, what'd you get?
The Vampire Diaries, The Walking Dead, Naruto, 13 Reasons Why.
Nice. Got that
I'm
recent
not going to
stuff.
search for that.
Okay. Well, way to be the contrarian of the group, Nick.
You know,
Wouldn't want to get targeted advertisements.
exactly right. Don't want to accidentally watch Naruto.
Right.
My Amazon like targeted stuff is all fucked right now because I clicked on something that somebody tweeted of like Jeff Goldblum holding like a gorilla as like a shower curtain, and now it's like all weird shit.
You know you can delete your history in that, right?
I didn't know that. I will have
Yeah,
to.
you can do that.
One time, Dan linked me to a pair of like $1,400 shoes and was like, "You should buy these." And I clicked on it, and then for at least a month, all of my advertisements were like, "Hey, do you want to buy like these $10,000 like Balenciaga man bags?" And I'm like, "Nah,
No,
not really."
All right, and last but not least, we got Nintendo at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, and supposedly that's just going to be like a short little pre-recorded thing. So,
Metroid.
Pokemon Ultra Sun something or other. There's like a Redux Pokemon game.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, yeah.
It's not coming out on Switch though. I know that.
Okay.
Almost certainly going to be seeing something from Super Mario Odyssey, I would suspect.
Yeah, apparently, what I read this morning, I forget which source, but they're going to predominantly only talk about stuff that's coming out this year, like within the next 6 to 12 months.
That's good.
So
I'm down with that.
yeah,
They're
a
only
little
planning
less.
on existing that long. Then they're going to be a mobile developer.
They have no reason to. The Switch is
I'm
killing it in
joking.
sales,
I'm
but the
joking,
joke has
calm
no
down.
basis in reality. I think.
It's my own personal narrative that I've mined for humor for a while.
Yeah.
I think I'm from the Switch stuff. I'm most excited to see hopefully something about Monster Hunter coming to North America. I can't imagine they wouldn't. So I think that's like the opposite of a bold prediction. But
Well,
Metroid.
Yeah, it's
Don't-
the year of Metroid,
don't
man.
even bother,
Here
man.
it is. Here it comes. The year of
That's,
Metroid.
that's my Master Chief collection. They beat me to the dirt. I give up. You can keep Metroid. Just stop. Just stop.
Yeah, we've already heard a lot about ARMS. I'm sure we'll see a little bit more about that in the show. Splatoon 2 will probably get a similar treatment. I mean, they'll probably talk about Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle because we won't get bludgeoned over the head by Ubisoft for that enough. I guess
I think it's an important E3 for Nintendo to build on what I would consider unexpected momentum for the Switch.
Agreed.
I don't know if it needs third-party support. Like it's like the same situation that happened when the Wii U came out. Is like we're waiting for, are these companies going to support it? But I don't know if it actually matters to me. If Nintendo is just like, hey, we've got like 8 first-party titles coming out in 2018, I'd be like, I think that's good. I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'd probably if they had like 4, I think that would probably be enough.
I'll probably pick up
one quality game every 3 months from Nintendo, and I think I'd be okay.
Pokken Tournament DX. I'll probably grab. I really like Pokken Tournament on the Wii U.
Yeah, I remember
so
you
the
said
DX
you liked that
one,
a lot.
Yeah, the DX one has a bunch of new characters and stuff. So I
Can
think we'll see
you
that.
buy Nintendo Switch now, or is that still not a
I
thing?
still have not seen it in my local Target.
Yeah, they're still.
So I
out.
recently did a search on Amazon and eBay, and I saw people with lots of like 36 of them selling them for $400 or $500 each.
Jeez,
So that tells me they're probably still not in retail.
man.
Why do they have lots of multiple 30s? Fuck off, please.
We need to buy Switches in bulk, yo.
Just like do the world a favor and stop existing so we can have this.
Fire Emblem Warriors. Did somebody already mention that? But that's a slightly interesting one for me. I'm much more interested in the open world Dynasty Warriors game that they're working on. So I'm curious to maybe hear more about that by proxy. But other than that, I suspect we'll maybe see a little bit of an indie presence from Nintendo as well. Maybe a small featurette reel.
30 seconds
Yeah.
of like,
Hey, maybe Hollow Knight will be on there.
Maybe, yeah, it might make an appearance. So yeah, apart from that, I don't know. Bold predictions, anybody? Nintendo-wise?
There's not much to be bold about, really.
Yeah.
They pretty much show their hand for the most part.
I don't think we'll see many surprises. We need to, we need what they have as far as the Switch goes. They've got to put it out right now, so hopefully that will indeed happen. But there we go.
It'd be nice if you could just buy one at the store now.
You're right, yeah, that would be cool too.
But like having games is also the other half of it, so
Is there anything-
it doesn't really matter one without the other.
Right. Is there anything...
I still maintain that the Switch is there. As relative to other launch consoles, I still think it's there.
What
Why?
is there?
Like it's
Zelda and Mario Kart.
Yeah, and all the
It's
indie
not
stuff
enough.
on it's not enough if you compare it to like the late stage of the PS4 or something like that. But for the first 3 months, the PS4 was like Need for Speed Underground, which was multi-platform, Knack, which sucked, and then like Killzone Shadowfall, which nobody cares about.
Oh, you also had that superhero one, Infamous.
That came out in February. That was
it wasn't a launch. I thought it was a launch.
No, it was like 4 months after the launch.
Infamous always reminded me of Prototype. I just thought it was basically the same
Prototype
game.
was great. Prototype 2 was not.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't mind Infamous. It was okay.
What about the 3DS? Do they have anything really coming along for that this year?
No,
Just
like
Pokemon, right?
Pokemon for the 3DS or the Switch. I want another Animal Crossing. I'm ready. I'm ready for the next one.
It has been like 4 years. That seems about right.
Yeah,
I'm ready. Give it
I guess a new
love Animal
Pikmin game
Crossing.
may be coming around for the 3DS. Hey Pikmin, which is
That- I want to believe, but that sounds like one of those "Hey You Pikachu" kind of side
hold on,
things.
How can you keep making Pikmins if like it conflicts with my own belief that the reason they don't make Metroids is because Metroids don't sell that well. But then Pikmin also always struck me as like a niche franchise that, for whatever reason, is still going. I'm not saying you shouldn't have Pikmin, but like maybe like alternate the Pikmins and the Metroids.
This is
They're not alternating shit.
Oh, I know, yeah.
They're out on Metroid completely.
I also know that's not how business works, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, this Pikmin franchise that people are like sort of cool on, and then you've got the Metroid franchise, which is not necessarily incredibly popular, but people who like it love it a lot.
Yeah.
I guess there's just somebody at Nintendo that's real passionate about Pikmin, and everybody that worked on Metroid's moved on. I don't know.
Other than that, I think that'll do for Nintendo, and that's the tail end of it. So that is our bold, outrageous, overwhelming E3 predictions for 2017. Of course, quick reminder, you can come on by here, twitch.tv/Roundtable Podcast. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Come on by and watch us restreaming the big three conferences. That's Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Right there.
And the real fun is the stuff we can't predict.
Right.
And no matter how bold we get, if they just come out with something out of the blue, nothing we can do about that.
Who's going to show up on stage not wearing any pants? Only time will tell.
John
Jamie
Carnage.
Kennedy.
Oh, right. Those two people. Right. So there we go. We'll be looking forward to it. Let's move into a couple of games here on the docket real quick as well. We got first up Conarium. Nick, this I have seen tons about this game, but I've not played it myself. Please tell me.
Have you seen tons?
Because
Where
I got
have you seen
emailed
it?
about it like a dozen times.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like people were talking about it. I was like, I didn't think people were talking about this.
Exclusively in my inbox, dude. I swear I
Right.
got like 8 to 12 emails about it. But go ahead.
Well, so Conarium is a sort of an adventure, like first person as if it was a point-and-click game, but not a point-and-click game. Like picture the Amnesia games, but with like the horror ratcheted way down.
Okay.
By developer Zoetrope Interactive. It's a very small team. I think it's like 2 or 3 people. Made a sort of H.P. Lovecraft-inspired adventure sort of horror suspense game. It's a very vague, sort of esoteric, literature-driven, surreal exploration thing. You're going to spend a lot of time looking around, reading lots of little bits and pieces. There's actual books to find. There's little notes. And slowly but surely you uncover this story very much in the usual Lovecraft spirit of becoming merged with the elder gods in one way or another. You kind of get in line with them. You get along with this idea that there's this science team you're working with, and it's very purposely abstract whether or not like what your role is in this team. And they're trying to uncover the depths to which the human mind can understand this greater realm. So they've been doing experiments, and you may be one of the people being experimented on or not. It's very vague. But you find your way through this area to another area that eventually goes below another area, then to a cave. And little by little, you get into creepier and creepier realms that are just surreal and odd.
Mm-hmm.
The game had a good sense of pacing for the first half or so. Graphically, very beautiful, very well done. Soundtrack was all right. but the voice acting was pretty bad, I have to be honest. The way they approached it, though, like, if you're into Lovecraft as a writer, I think you'll probably enjoy the lead-up. It felt like it had a nice sense of weight to it, that this was like, this is going somewhere pretty serious. As you get further into it, you get to a couple puzzles that are a little bit, like, finicky, kind of annoying puzzles. There's a lot of, like, twist the thing until you get the right lined up shit in a row, and then it just kind of arbitrarily works. There aren't very many puzzles, to be honest. The game's fairly short. I think it's about 5 hours long. There were maybe 5 puzzles, to be honest. A lot of it, though, is just sort of experiencing the environment, looking around, checking for stuff, and just seeing where you go from there. The end, though, I felt like was a bit of a letdown. It didn't keep the same pacing that it was holding for the first half. It just kind of got longer and longer and more drawn out, with more telling and less showing. And then by the very, very end, I'm not going to spoil it, but it didn't pay off with what I was hoping for. Although I'm not exactly a Lovecraft scholar, it might be that the thing I was hoping for it to do would actually put it at odds with what fans of that literature would like. I may have wanted something more extreme than is within the realm of those stories to go to. It didn't go like full-on horror for the most part. It went creepy. Yeah. But it didn't go like Amnesia levels or like anything really.
It doesn't seem like
really
a
morbid
game that is really designed to like scare you. It's a game.
No, it's really. And there were a couple of jump scares, but it wasn't a horror game really.
Yeah.
Just horror and atmosphere, not horror and execution.
Right.
There's also no combat in the game. There's one sequence where you run away from some stuff, but that's it. There's no weapons really. You can hold an axe, but it's exclusively for beating down walls. So. Yeah, really just mostly an exploration game. I had very mixed feelings about it all in all. I didn't regret playing it. I thought it was fun, but I think I put my expectations a little too high on it. And as a result, I was a bit let down. I still recommend, like, check out a little bit of footage of it, and if it looks like it might be your thing, you might want to try it. I mean, it's not even super expensive. It's right now it's on sale for $16.99. And if you're a huge fan of these types of games, I mean, there's not a ton of them out there to look for. So this one could have been done like a lot worse. So if you like that kind of gameplay, if you like that kind of storytelling, and you don't mind the pacing being on the slow side, I mean, you might want to try it out.
I know I still haven't played this, but is Soma an appropriate analog for this one as well, maybe, or not as much?
The writing in Soma was a lot better. It felt weightier, like you cared about the character a bit more in Soma. In this one, you kind of just were like, what is happening for a while? And then it ends.
Yeah, that's... See, that's the thing with these games, man, is they've gotta hook you quick because they're such a compact experience. Like this is not really comparable, but like Little Nightmares, for example, for a game that like is only really 3 or 4 hours long, and you kind of have to jump in sight unseen and get involved with it. I think they do a decent enough job of just sort of creating a world for you to get involved with mentally. Does Conarium at all like suck you in, or were you just sort of having it happen to you?
Well, visually it was very engrossing. Like that's the thing that was putting me at odds with my opinion, because if there was more to see and more to do, I would have actually been down for it regardless of the writing. But even that felt sort of constrained. Like it ultimately panned out that there was like one big building and then like a structure underneath that and then a bunch of caves and then like this one other area. And that was kind of the whole game. But if they went into the depths of like, what is this Lovecraft world that you could eventually go visit? Like, yeah, I would have been totally into that.
Right.
I would have loved to see more. It ended right when it could have gotten good, at least in my opinion.
All right. Well, there we go.
It is possible that if you go back and play it a second time, there might be another ending. The way they wrote it at the in the credits was like, you got this ending, which implied to me that there's another ending. I don't know that's going to really change much in my opinion of the writing, but it might at least give you another justification for how to see the story. Because honestly, very little of it felt wrapped up by the end of it to me, and it might be one of those ones where you kind of have to go in with what you know by the end of it to understand it from the beginning again. I just didn't really care to do that much.
Sure, yeah.
But maybe watching my Let's Play through again. I don't know.
Sweet.
Somebody smarter than me probably can figure out the story and explain it to me better.
Nice. All right. Well, that's Conarium, currently on Steam for $17. Let's talk about Monolith. Love to take.
Probably good.
I'm glad you think that, dude, because I think it's awesome. This one also kind of came out of nowhere for me. Monolith. I just found this in my email. Thought it looked fun. And here's a great. This is not practical advice for most developers. I recognize that, but I just wanted to know that the fact that this game was like 70 megabytes made my bridge of access from looking at it to playing it like that small. So I really appreciate that. But anyway, Monolith is this sort of chiptune themed top-down arcade shooter / bullet hell game that is just super fun to play, man. Like, the first time I booted it up, I played it for an hour straight just because I was instantly hooked to it. It's super easy to pick up, and I wouldn't say it's really that tough to master it either. I think there may be like a pretty easy gradual curve from entry-level play to pretty proficient play, and it's really satisfying, actually. Like, even only like an hour to an hour and a half in, I've actually managed to get to the final boss of the game already, and it's difficult still to get to that point, but it is also like it's not too far off. Which games like this, I think when you have like a sort of lunch break roguelike that you're developing, you want to get that fine balance of like, well, we know that not everybody's going to put 200 hours into this, so we want most people to be able to see the end game content. I think they've got a really good balance here in Monolith of being able to do that. Gameplay wise, it's super tight controls, and the hitbox actually feels a little generous, but I think it kind of has to, just because the screen area is so compacted that if your whole ship was hittable, you'd probably have a lot of difficulty really making it very far at all. But it's really fun, man. Like, it's got all you'd really come to expect from this kind of game. It's like a mashup of Zelda, Galaga, and I don't know what else you'd throw in there.
Guardian Legend is what I wanted to say.
Let's go with that.
It's got those kind of like cutesy Avatar like animal bubble things. It's just got this visual style combined with the chiptunes. It reminded me a lot of Guardian Legend from NES. Really fun game though, like you said. It's just got that really nice tight feel to it. The synergies with the weapons, the fact that it's got the Rogue Legacy style unlocks to them.
Yeah.
Just the soundtrack honestly just makes me want to play it by itself.
The soundtrack is so catchy, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Really great.
And it's a surprisingly diverse number of bosses. I played the demo version, which I didn't realize was a demo until it came out, for about 4 or 5 hours. And in that, I thought I had seen like almost all the content. And then when it came out, there was like a whole bunch of new bosses. So that was nice.
Yeah,
apparently Vulcan's not garbage now too, which is good too.
Yeah, most of the guns seem like they're more or less viable, which is nice. Like, I don't ever really feel like I'm fucked when I get a weapon, so that's a pretty good sign.
Do we agree though? Top tier is Shotgun Fireball.
I like Laser, actually. I've been getting pretty far with the
Laser's
Laser.
my second in command.
Laser's pretty damn good. Ryan, I know you played a bit on the NLSS as well. What'd you think?
I'm not fully sold on Monolith yet. I don't know. I found like room diversity kind of. It's hard to come over the top too much on this because we're doing like primarily focused on conversation.
Yeah. And
like I'm working my way through the tutorial as fast as possible so we can get into actually playing the game. But I sort of like. I prefer when things stack on top of one another and build instead of just constantly replacing them. And for the most part, I'm not an enormous fan of like ammunition mechanics in roguelites, but I thought it was like reasonably entertaining. But I can't see myself getting like 10, 15, 20 hours out of it.
I'm not sure there's that many hours that exist in it, really.
Yeah, actually, like the run I had that got to the final boss only took me like 25, maybe 30 minutes total. So
right, but it's not meant to be just done once, I assume. So like,
but I think it's probably gonna like what Nick I think is saying is that you'll probably only want to beat it maybe I think like 10, 15 times, and then you're probably good. So it's a much more compacted roguelite experience. It's also at a more compact price. Thankfully as well, but I don't know, man. I think the ammo works in this game. I think they've got a pretty good balance of where you can find items and how you can get back to them and use them. For example, like going through a floor, I'll have the weapon that I started the floor with, and I'll go through like half the floor with that, and then I'll find the weapons room that contains 2 different weapons for me to switch to. So I'll leave those there, or like I'll leave that room before opening it up, because if you open it up first, then they get destroyed once you leave the room. But I'll leave that, and then I'll come back to it like after I've killed the mini boss for the floor, and then restock with the gun, and also salvage my old gun for health and gold. So there's a good trade-off for the gun parts, for all the different currencies that you have that you can trade with within the game on every floor. I feel like it's got such a good balance to it that it works in this particular context.
I actually agree. The first impression I had was, I hate that there's ammo in this. I want to just get stacking weapons, like Ryan said. And then I started to realize this is sort of the Isaac order of operations for this game, is to figure out how you maintain the gun that you want, instead of being put on your back foot to have to decide to take one you don't want necessarily, and then be at a disadvantage when you fight the boss.
Exactly. And it's cool, the sacrifices you kind of have to make too there, because you know, like you've got a gun that still has maybe 150 bullets. You're like, well, I mean, I want to make sure I've got enough ammo to fight the boss, but I also really want to take this weapon, blah blah blah. All these different trade-offs that you're having to make these decisions as you're playing through, which is, you know, it adds a little bit more to it. There's also, I don't know if you guys noticed, a multiplier mechanic in the game. Where if you don't take damage, you get more gold from the enemies, which I thought was neat as well. So there's a little bit more incentive to, you know, play a little cleaner, which is always nice too.
I think, like, it's not necessarily fair to say this, but there's a couple of things. One is, I would respect, like, the ammunition mechanic more if you could swap guns. And the obvious counter argument to that is like, it's designed this way. And that's fine, but like in Gungeon, there's an ammunition mechanic, but that allows you to actually stack great stuff early in the game and then use it later or at like particularly tough bosses. So there's an element of strategy added by the fact that you can swap back and forth between them. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, I respect the order of operations, but I don't find it like as compelling.
That's fair.
And then the second thing is that this is the really unfair criticism, is that like Dead Cells is just like more compelling in almost every way that I could see. So even though they're different games, like I feel like Dead Cells has sort of created like a shockwave or like a roguelite vacuum where it's hard for me to get excited about other stuff. It's hard for me to get excited about the second best roguelite I've played in like the last 2 months when Dead Cells is so good.
They're just such a different scope for me.
Yeah.
I mean, not in addition to them being a totally different type of game, but one is, I feel like, it's designed for maybe 8 to 10 total hours of gameplay. And Dead Cells, I don't know how long it's going to be designed for. It's not ready yet, really.
I mean, I'm fine with like an 8 to 12 hour, third best roguelite I've played in the past few months, because I forgot about Tumbleseed. But anyway.
I thought you forgot about Flinthook for a second.
No. But then like an 8 to 10 hour game is fine, but like I don't want an 8 to 10 hour roguelite most of the time. I mean, I also feel like an 8 to 10 hour, like highly curated bullet hell shooter makes no sense from an indie developer. That's like not realistic. If you look at something like Jamestown, that's like, like 2 hours long. But Jamestown, I think, is excellent. I kind of feel like, for me at least, Monolith is, I have no interest in learning the language of like a 10-hour roguelite. As weird as that might sound.
But it's super not that deep, though. Like, you can figure it out in a half an hour.
That's what I was saying, is like, the curve from beginner player to fairly experienced adept player is really not that far. It's pretty quick, actually.
It's casual, but also deep at the same time in a way. Like, you have to be pretty dexterous to avoid those patterns, right? Like, enter the Gungeon style.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of depth. Like, it's going to take you 2 or 3 runs to pick it up.
And
but 2 or 3 runs is not 100.
I don't see that as a bad thing, though. Like, for me, I don't know. It seemed like, I mean, I hesitate to say this because it also was like down well for me, where everybody was going, I love this game, and mechanically it's like so well designed. It's like a designer's, like, I'm trying to think of the word that I've used in the past, but it's like
minimalist.
It's a game that designers like a lot. They go like, this is really smartly designed. And I didn't totally get that in Downwell, and I think I get it even less in Monolith, to the point where I'm like, it sort of feels like the procedural generation and roguelite veneer is something that allows you to extend what I would consider to be maybe an overly simplistic mechanic over a longer time frame.
So, okay, so you're looking at this like if we took the roguelike and progressional elements out of this, it's a fairly simple game. Is that kind of the line of logic
and
there?
it's not fair to say that because those elements are in the game, but that's kind of where I'm at is like, I think that it artificially extends the amount of time that you would otherwise be interested in the game to the point where, like, if this were just a space shooter without roguelite mechanics, how long would you want to play it for?
It's built into the mechanics, though, in that there's weapon unlocks for playing on multiple runs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I want to even consider the hypothetical, honestly, because it's kind of out there to look at it that way. I think it's, I think like Nick said, it's integrated to the point where it's difficult to make the parse. But
you walked me into that.
I don't really get the criticism.
I definitely did lead you that direction.
You asked me a hypothetical question I had a hesitancy to answer, and then came over the top with the uppercut.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I just don't find the base mechanic that compelling.
Okay.
And it is true that in Isaac the base mechanic is not that compelling, but Isaac also originally came out 6 years ago. So, like, Gungeon is much more fun to play in the moment, I feel, because it's more frenetic, and Dead Cells has that same sort of like pace and enjoyability to it. Whereas when I was playing Monolith, I was like, it's okay, but I didn't find myself like super engaged in any particular room that I was involved in.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's fair enough. I just don't really know why there's like a power ranking to them. It's a different kind of game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just sort of an abstract thing to say Dead Cells is just more compelling than
right, like
Monolith
as if
now,
because
right?
one exists, the other can't be fun or something. Like that isn't really how
I
that
think
goes.
that's the
I
message.
don't know.
I think it's just like
I can't eat two dinners. You know, and I like quesadillas and pizza. You know, if I prefer to have quesadillas,
but have
I'm going to
you
eat the
tried a
quesadilla.
case of pizza though? That's the real question here.
I kind of feel I'm going to return your response to my opinion with the same response. Like, what's the problem with saying it's good, but it's not as good as another game? Like, sure, many games can be good, but is the basis of criticism to some extent is comparing one thing to something else.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Well, there we go. Monolith, but hey, I love it, actually. Truth be told, I've been having a ton of fun with it. Both the times that I booted it up, I've played it for like 45 minutes to an hour, so that is indicative of not enough of my enjoyment levels. It is currently $8 on Steam. It's available right now. And that...
Wait. It's $8 US?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. What? Okay, no. This is weird. So I tried to buy it for Rob, and it wouldn't let me buy it in Canada for Rob because the Canadian version, I think, is cheaper. And
Really?
It's $8.80 Canadian.
Oh.
Nick bought me the U.S. version, and it went U.S. to Canada, but it wouldn't let me
wouldn't go the
buy
other way.
the Canadian version to give to Rob.
That's weird.
That was weird.
All right.
It's weird.
Anyway, there we go. That's going to bring us into everybody's favorite segment. Hey, Math, it's good to see you, buddy.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
I did not play Monolith.
You would not like it. I don't
doubt
say
it.
that to be presumptuous, but I think, well, I mean, it's obviously presumptuous, but I don't, it doesn't strike me as a Mathas game.
Fair enough. All right. That's going to bring us to everybody's favorite segment. That's Roundtable. Ask Roundtable is the weekly segment where you send your questions to roundtableyt@gmail.com. We're going to answer them for you. This week's question comes from Chris. I really like this question from Chris. He says, hi, I'm Chris. Hi, Chris. Longtime listener and watcher of all your channels. Thanks, buddy. An interesting question I thought of from playing fighting games lately. If you were in a fighting game, what fighting style would you be? Or what special powers would you have? And the most important, what would your special move be? This is a great question, I feel. I'm going to throw it to the floor here. If you were in a fighting game, what fighting style would you use? First of all, I've got kind of a caveat to this one. I'm technically already in a fighting game. I'm featured in Tekken as Kuma. They didn't want to confuse people with the representation, but it is me. How about you guys? Anybody in particular? I think y'all are a little more trained in the martial arts. At least one of you guys knows something that I don't know about you. In the art of beat-uppery. Or am I making that up?
Is that true? One of us does?
I feel like somebody here knows karate. And I think it's Mathas.
I think it's Ryan because he does judo chops.
I did take karate when I was a teenager.
You did take karate when you were a teenager. I knew it. I had a feeling, man. I thought for sure. You were a
Taekwondo.
karate.
I took wushu actually
You
when
took
I was
wushu
like
as well?
9.
Nice. That's awesome. What would your special move be, Mathas?
Oh God, I don't know. Saying something I shouldn't.
Embezzlement?
Like my mouth opens and then symbols fly out of it that represent a word and hit the person in the face.
There you go.
Do extra damage.
There you go.
And then like when you're spinning around all confused, I run up and I just take all your money and I run away.
Ryan's in his mode now, so I can't defer to him.
Yeah, you can see the head going.
Yeah, you can tell.
It's like basically done. It's just being punched up right now.
Yeah, good. Okay. We've got
That's right. No, I steal your special move.
Oh, that's brilliant.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
perfect,
works.
dude. That's so Mathas. I love that. Chad, I'm sure, has much better ideas for this than we do ourselves. Truthfully, you'd think I'm the kind of person to spend a lot of time thinking about this question, but I haven't given it a lot of thought. I haven't.
I think I'd be the fighter that has like 8 projectiles.
You think so?
You know, I'd be the dude who you play against, and you go like, "Hey, can you stop using projectiles?" And I'm like, "Well,
It's the only thing I got in my moveset. I got like,
if you're just gonna sit there and block the projectiles, I'm gonna keep doing chip damage to you." So
You're Aquaman from Injustice.
that's exactly correct. Yeah, and then like I have projectiles, and you can wait those out, or you can get close, and then I have a 3 move combo I do that pushes you further away.
okay.
But if you have
Back to
any skill, you
projectiling.
can stop me and no problem.
I love this theme that we've just developed of we're all just terrible fighting game characters that you never want to play against. So mine would be, I'd just be like a fucking tank. So I've got like 3 times more health than every character in the game, but I've only got like 2 moves I can use. So I'm just like this big fat guy. I just sit there, and if you get in my range, I can jab at you, and I can like bite at you. That's all I got though. So I'm just
You're like Potemkin from Guilty Gear.
oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, look him up.
All right.
Or Iron Tiger.
And then my special move is I eat a pizza and I regain all my health. It's so cheap, but that's
I guess
me.
I kind of imagine myself like one of those Mortal Kombat ninjas, but the gold ninja.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I'd have a katana or something and do like a lot of quick, agile bursts of speed, like an air dash. But I don't really do a lot of damage. I mostly just do little weak hits, left and right, kind of
But
keep
they're
you
super
guessing where
quick,
I'm going.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I want my ability to somehow cut a hole in time and space, but I think that's probably a little bit above my abilities.
Nah, dude, just cheat. That's what we're all doing. Just pick a move that's cheating.
Well, so like in Blaze Blue, there's a move where you can actually do that. You cut one of the projectiles, and then it opens up a hole, and then that hole like sucks stuff into it.
Nice.
So I want that ability.
It's like
It
Kirby,
seals back up eventually, though.
Kirby, but with space time.
Yeah, sure.
I like that. Sweet. Well, thanks, Chris, for the question. So you've got a question for us. Feel free to send it over to roundtableyt@gmail.com. We also had, separate from Chris's Ask Roundtable question, we had a Nick's Weird Games theme suggestion from Robert Pisk. So thank you, Robert, for that suggestion. He says, if Ryan doesn't cover Radiohead's Creep for Nick's Weird Games, I'll riot.
Oh, I did Africa instead.
Oh, well, that's fine, too. Let's do that instead. He's going to riot, though. Sorry, yeah, Robert Pisk is going to start a riot.
Well, originally, we went through 10 today.
Yeah.
And Bear's like, hey, how would you like to do We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel? And I'm like, oh, that's not possible. He's like, oh, how about It's the End of the World as We Know It by R.E.M.? And I'm like, oh, that's not possible. He's like, what about Take On Me by Aha? And I'm like, well, that's pretty embarrassing. I definitely can't get that note. So we went through 8 contingency songs.
Yeah.
I forgot Creep was the
that was what we
the one
settled on. But we had a
but-
couple. Those were from Jeremy and from Juan, who both suggested Africa by Toto. So that's fine as well. Robert Pisk, we'll definitely have to get to your
Robert Piss.
Robert Pisk. Excuse you.
I heard Piss.
You
Robert
heard
Piss.
Yeah, so that's what you're sticking with. All right. We got Africa
Robert's
by Toto.
pissed. More like. I'm doing a song.
Yeah.
That being said, We Didn't Start the Fire. That one would totally work.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Nick's got a couple weird games.
Oh, yeah. that
They
fits
were
it.
always happy, and then you just,
But they make him happy.
they make him happy.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment after their favorite
Harvest
segment.
Moon, Biohazard, Body Harvest, something Mazard.
It's
You
Nick's-
get the it works.
It's Nick's Weird Games.
Mazard.
Okay, so this is Africa in the style of Toto with lyrics but no lead vocal from the karaoke channel. I gotta get in the night. Something like, is that the?
You got it.
He starts very breathy, and then in the chorus, I think I have to pitch it down because he gets too high. But so, as this is a recurring theme with these. But anyway, all right, here comes the lead in. It's like another 2 bars, maybe another 4 bars.
Yeah. What'd you have for breakfast this morning?
No, there's no time.
I'm trying to mind for you.
Wait, okay, I missed my cue.
Oh no,
that's not a 4-bar question.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I see the game sitting on the shelf, but Jeff Gerstmann wrote that it wasn't that amazing. Nick picked it up braver than myself. Could be worth something one day is what he found himself saying. Worst case, it's just another game. Couldn't be worse than disappointment and aggravation. Looked up reviews and saw they say, shitty game released on PS2. And then it's the doom, doom, ba-doom. Gonna play some games from the year 2002. This is definitely not a thing for dudes should ever do. I guess the games from Nick's collection.
Oh, boy.
Gonna guess some games despite the fact I never play. Okay, that's
good shit.
That's it right there.
It is lit, fam. Nick's Weird Games. Close your chats. Take it away.
All right, today we have got another PS2 game. I know. I can't believe it. There's still more.
The Infinite Era, man.
I'm honestly really, really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm not joking anymore.
Yeah.
I know I say this every time, but I don't know. There's maybe like another 2, 3 tops.
Can you get to 100?
I can try.
That would be
That
the
would be a
magical moment,
good mission. I should
wouldn't
do
it?
that.
Yeah, I think we can hopefully make that work.
Then we're going to have some special thing happen on episode 100. I'll just be like, well, it's Mario Party. So, all right, PS2 game was released in North America in 2008. Also ported to PlayStation.
PS2 2008?
Yeah, that's late.
Yeah.
Late 2000.
Also released on PlayStation Portable in 2009.
It's a PlayStation 2 game from 2008.
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
That was ported to the PSP in 2009.
There were still PS2 games getting released in 2011, right?
Oh, Madden.
And FIFA. Anyway, this one was developed by Gust Corporation Limited. Ever heard of them?
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't think I have either, to be honest.
Nothing.
Gust.
Published by NIS America.
NIS, I know.
It is a spiritual successor to another series, and it is a JRPG. The central premise focuses on a player that has gone away to a specific, like a technical school for a specific type of magical ability. I don't want to say exactly what type of magical ability because it kind of gives away the premise to some degree. No bells rung.
Well, I mean, school JRPG special magical ability.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it a Persona game?
No.
Okay.
So you basically have a setup where you like go to classes at one point, and then you're also making friends, and then you're also in the field fighting stuff and collecting synthesis items that then get used towards upgrading your character. I know,
Yeah,
big,
like
exciting
like
shit right there. It's not anything like those, though. It's a much more cartoony, kind of happy type of game. Chat's gotten it already, if you can believe that.
Really?
The lead protagonist's name is Vane Aurelius, who is son of the legendary Theophratus, who disappeared sometime after Vane's birth.
This is well out of my wheelhouse, I think.
Tapping out of that one, dude. I got no fucking idea.
You've got us.
He has an esper, like a friend that is sort of like a spirit in a cat form named Sulfur.
I have no idea what this is.
I'm just scanning for stuff I can say that doesn't give away the name.
Yeah. Chat's gotten it? How many people in chat got it?
Surprisingly, they worked the name of this game into like everything that you say about it.
Huh.
Marketing.
I see quite a few people that have gotten it now.
Man.
What is it?
Yeah, I'm
You
tapped
got
out,
me.
buddy.
Tapped out. Okay.
Yeah.
Today's game is called Monokamiya, Alchemist of Alrevis.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Nope. No idea. Never seen
It's
that.
printed vertically on the box.
It is. I'm not really
That's
sure what they were
hilarious. What
doing
the
with that.
fuck? Why
It is
that?
printed
Jesus.
sideways.
That is-
Actually, I think the reasoning was because I think this came in a case with an art book, and I don't think this was meant to
okay.
be the front cover.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to keep it in the bookcase thing, the larger version. Anyway, I
Read that
actually
name
played
again?
this quite a bit, and it's not bad. I actually like this game a bit. There's a sequel as well.
Nice. Give me that
What was the name again?
Yeah.
Monokamiya, Alchemist of Alrevis.
Just I can't remember it after you say it.
Like, this game could not make me want to play it less. Here's one of the character descriptions from Wikipedia. Muppy Octavia Wonderchak the Eighth. Muppy is a Muppy is a foreign exchange student from a faraway world. By a strange turn of events, he ends up learning alchemy with Vane and his workshop friends. He wanders the school in a pot-like machine, so everyone thinks he is slightly strange. Sweet.
He's a
His true
goofball,
plan is
man.
world domination, as he tends to have delusions of grandeur. In his ending, Vane travels with him to his home planet and asks Vane to become his queen.
Nice.
Dope.
Nice.
Roxas Rosenkrantz, a cool, sarcastic transfer student who comes from a famous alchemist family. Roxas is very diligent, hard worker. His words are very polite, even though he is an annoying student.
This seems like a game Kate would play.
Yes.
I
agree.
actually like this one. I actually meant to finish it and never got around to it.
Nice.
Not bad.
Awesome.
I would give it a solid 7. Packy the
damn.
Pack also got this first in chat, so congrats to you.
Well done, Packy. Hell yeah, brother. Good job, everyone. Well
Brother.
done.
Ernin Child Carnap, the Academy's vice principal.
The names are fucking
What was
ridiculous. I don't
What was the
disagree.
first one again?
Muppy.
Oh, are you Muppy Octavia Wonderchak the Eighth?
Muppy. Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Nicole Mimi Teethel, an
Teethel!
energetic beast man girl.
That's
Beast
so
Man Girl.
good. What even is that? Fuck me.
A character in I can't remember the name of the game anymore.
Okay. Good job.
Monokamiya.
team.
Monica Mia.
Thank you
Monica
all
Mia,
very much
Alchemists of
for
Alrevis.
being
Monica
here
Mia,
for this
here we
episode
go
of
again.
Roundtable Live. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for following the channel here on twitch.tv/Roundtable Podcast. Again, a quick reminder, we'll be live this weekend starting Sunday doing that E3 restreaming coverage. Microsoft's conference at 2 o'clock Pacific on Sunday, Sony conference at 6 o'clock Pacific on Monday, and then Nintendo is bright and early 9 a.m. on Tuesday. We'll all be there for it. Come on by. It'll be fun here on twitch.tv/Roundtable Podcast. What's up?
Bear, during the send-off, can I just, with no context, read some of the character names from Monica Mia 2,
Just-
Fall of Alchemy?
Like, the whole time I'm doing all this stuff, just go ahead and throw whatever ones you want in there, please. I would appreciate that.
All right.
We want to
Well,
thank...
one of them is just Yun. So that's a good one.
We want to thank those of you who have subscribed to the channel today, including Princess Prickly Pear, Guilty, Auxiliary Function, I Want to Come and Dan Giesling, Tech Tight Toe, and Francium is Reactive. Thanks for the bits as well, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support over there.
Ulrica Mulberry. Pepperoncino.
Now let me get to the Patreon supporters here on patreon.com/roundtable. We want to thank you guys very much for your continued support
Corona.
over there.
Corona.
Corona.
Inarzia Deisler.
We want to thank very much those at the $20 tier and above, which include Julian Avelsgaard, Jonathan Graham, Scotty119, Ricky Greist. Who else does it include, Ryan?
I mean, I pretty much shot my wad there.
Damn it,
I mean,
all right.
there's Light Mannequin.
That's a pretty good light mannequin.
Whim.
Just Whim.
Just Whim.
Whim. Ricky Grist, Ellis Spice, John Kalchik, O. Thomas Games BR, Jakar Sampson, With a Dance Number, Kolnar, Sanoa, Jamie Tinsley. Is that Sahoa? I'm sorry. That's been Sahoa. I think I've said Sanoa a few times. I apologize. Sahoa, thank you. Jamie Tinsley, Joseph Boss, Penn Gillette, Michael Bush Larson, Talks to Wall, TJ Majesty, Chaos, you wouldn't get this from any other guy theorist. Colby Klein, Greenlight, Oren Saltzman, Christopher Flagg, Brizzle Brip, Positron, Eric Schooley, Mythscara, Mediocrities, Positron, which I already said, Justin, Smurfette, and Logan Ray. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your support over on patreon.com/roundtable. We really appreciate that support. If you missed any part of the show today, you can catch the show VOD over on our YouTube channels. That is BaerTaffy, MathasGames, and RockLeeSmile. Thank you very much for watching. Again, we'll be live this weekend, and we'll be live again next Friday for our post-E3 wrap-up. Thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye. Bye.
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 Later.